What's up, folks? I'm here. Sorry I'm a little late. I had to get some stuff swapped over in the washer. Oh god, we're fighting Slanesh. Holy crap, it's gonna be a rough match to start off the day pretty much. Oh my goodness, okay. So we got a game plan here for real then. Alright, I'm gonna swap y'all away for just a sec. I'll bring you over to the current deal for Total Tavern. If OBS would so let me. It'd be really nice if it would. There we go. So I'm playing Beastmen today, and it's going to be a good time. I've been really enjoying my time playing these guys. They're an incredibly strong faction, which kind of goes without saying, I guess. I mean, they're just so speedy and capable of getting up to objectives, like, really fast. I mean, they're one of the quickest factions in the game. They've got really strong magic options. You've got, the Wilds magic, you've got Shadows, Death, Beasts, pretty much everything that you could possibly want from these guys is here. But what actual spells I'm bringing, I'm not 100% sure on yet. Need to do a little game planning. I don't actually know which one's going to be best against Slanesh. Casters are pretty squishy here because they can definitely get rampaged into stuff and just end up dead. That's always a feels bad kind of moment. I'd really like to try and avoid that as much as possible for obvious reasons. As for what is actually going to be the best option here... There's always the good old Traderkin that's on the table. You're really never going to go wrong if you just bring that, but... Might be a little predictable, is the only worry that I have there. And, I mean, Via is a really good player, and is definitely not somebody who's just going to be kind of a slouch and blunder into bad situations. Is definitely going to be working to pull my army apart here. So I can't be lax. Some of these guys will be nice. Maybe one of them's. Theoretically good, but probably in practicality not as impactful as you'd like. These dudes will be really good. These will probably get shredded in the air. So the thing I'm debating is whether I'm taking mobility fights just like right out the gate with Slanesh or not, because that can be a little bit hazardous. They've certainly got the punching power to just rail you, absolutely obliterate your army. Slanesh is very capable in that respect. I think that's a little bit of a waste. Another one. This doesn't look bad. I think I've got a pretty decent little army here. Maybe you need a little bit more punching power, though. Do like these guys. I think having this setup is going to be really good for me. Maybe another one of these. Maybe less of these guys. I swear, sometimes the army building phase can get so awkward in terms of cost, man. It's always something you gotta be on the lookout for. Alright, I got my build. I'm feeling pretty confident in it. I have beaten Slaanesh with this build before. It's a little adjusted from what it was last time I played this matchup, so we'll see if it is improved. Last time I screwed up and forgot to bring a caster, so I was kind of lucky that my opponent played very aggressively into me and gave me lots of good trading opportunities. I got some really good jumps on some really expensive units. Whether Via is going to let me get those same opportunities is an entirely different matter, though, and I might not have the same ease of, like, access to favorable trades. Moo. Bro is gonna cook. I don't know. We'll see about it, guys. No promises. I might get cooked here. Alright, sweet. I'll flip y'all back over now that we're starting. So we're going on to a Ragnarok lair. It's maybe not the best Beastmen map. I mean, it does have the 3 middle objectives, which means you can split push very efficiently here. But for my build, it's maybe a little bit of something that I'm gonna have to do some maneuvering on, just to get the best possible trades. And I'm curious to see how Via is going to handle my big centerpiece unit, because I did kind of go with something a little bit different, although I do think it's really nice against the demon factions. The Eye of Morsleep, it's a really nice big artillery piece. It's actually really good against SEs with its throwing attacks, so big. It can actually hammer big stuff pretty well. I've got Morgur and a Wargore. They're just going to sit like right under this guy. We're going to keep them all in a nice big blob. Get all our missiles on guard mode. I don't know where we're going to advance to first. He's got a pretty small army. 10 units. You know, that probably means he's got some Chaos Warriors. If he's got a line of Chaos Warriors, he's going to have a really rough time here. Because Beastmen are exceptionally good with the Eye of Morsleep that can just absolutely dumpster those guys. Another nice thing is the Warp Gaze. You can definitely just, like, keep this goon squad on an objective, lock stuff down, and then use your missile line to really get in there and do some very effective work to the Slaaneshi forces. Because they're really lightly armored, you've got lots of spears, and the Ungor spears really aren't all that good in a vacuum, but if you can just, like, lock something down and use, like, the destroyers of Drakwold and stuff to, like, poke fiends while your Ungor raiders answer, it's a really favorable position for you to be in. You can do some pretty big damage with those guys. I think we're just going to anchor on these 2 objectives here. I'm going to try and not overextend My most common pitfall is trying to play all 3 objectives at once and overextending myself to my own doom and detriment. Alright. Via's ready, I'm ready. We're gonna just scoot right up here. He does have the, he's got the, whoa, he's got the Sibilant Slaughtercade. It's kind of cool. And just throw against these Hellstriders, just right off the bat. Start getting some shots in here. Take the charge. That hurts, but we're actually getting some decent damage on some of these units here. I'm gonna keep right here. We need to not get super spread out here. I'm gonna move the Eye of Moresleep up, and I can't quite get the jump there, which is unfortunate. I need to bring my caster in. Caster's gonna be really important for me. I did just bring Traderkin. Let's come back here. Alright, Azazel, you can do that. Now we're gonna lock him down and just beat the absolute living piss out of him. Hopefully. Hopefully he doesn't just get back up in the air immediately and just ruin my day. He's got the spawn here. Or not the spawn, the fiends. Oh, fiends are coming from my caster, actually. Turn around here and attack there. And man, he's just got so much back pressure here. That's going to be pretty nice for me, and we're going to get the Centaurs in here now. They'll hammer home and do some nice work. He's going to play really aggressively onto my back lines. We did cap one objective, but we're kind of missing out on another. Sibilant Slaughtercade's kind of all over me right now. We need to just keep shooting. We need to bring some spears back, and one spear can sit here. These guys can sit here. We'll cast this. We're kind of getting wrecked right here, which is painful, but we're going to summon in some Sentis. They're going to hammer home into the back of this formation. Try and trap up as much of this stuff as possible. And we'll turn and throw as well. So we should be able to do some good damage to the Fiends here. Maybe we get one more cast off. That would be really nice, but doesn't actually look like we're going to be able to, which is very painful. So Via's getting some really good damage in here right now, but we are going to turn all of our missiles around and start trying to do as much work as we can. And Azazel did kill the caster. Woo, that's brutal. It's very unfortunate for me. It's a very even match so far. We're kind of winning the front line a little bit, actually. We need to be doing a little bit more here, though. We do have the Fiends getting onto our Ungor Raiders. Having a little bit of trouble saving all of my stuff here. Here we go. That's a nice little lockdown. We're going to get these guys out. We're going to get more Sentis running in. They're going to go after these Fiends. Zangors should be able to mop up these devoted Marauders back here, and the Eye of Moresleep is like wandering in doing God knows what, but doing a decent job of trading here, I guess. Did we use all... Yeah, we do have all of the spawn out right now, which is a little unfortunate. Don't super want that, but we are crumbling out some of the Fiends. We've got Centaurs on these Fiends over here. We're going to turn our little Ungor Raider bows around. And the Eye of Moresleep just needs to keep beating shit up. He's going to be really good at that. Where we have these guys, they're just kind of doing their little thing down here. And they're roadblocking the Marauder Horsemen, actually. It's really nice for me. Getting some damage there, getting some damage here, gonna fire here. Zangors are cleaning house back there. What do we bring out next? Bring the caster back up. I actually like bringing the caster back up. Maybe we can get a nice Traderkin here. Please. Get this. Morgar's doing a good job of actually winning here in the pit. Got some Ungors rallying to positions, and the Ungor Raiders have been really good here. They've done tremendous amounts of damage so far. Did we get it off? We did get a Traderkin off, and it did pretty big damage to Old Boy back here. Azazel got hammered pretty hard. I got the Hellstriders here. If he wants to take fights with Hellstriders, he's welcome to. Hellstriders are going to struggle a little bit. He's kiting me around. He's got the Fiends on the... I have more sleep here, actually, which I did not notice until just now. Which is really good for him. Need to kill these Devoted Marauders. We need to keep our forces here. Get there. Back up. He's luring me into a trap, and we did lose our caster yet again. Pain. Come on, get in there. Kill Azazel, please. And pop this here. Just to lock them in place, and we can start doing damage. Fire with these bows. We need all of our bows to do some good work here. And we saved the caster, and we got Azazel surrounded. We might be able to kill Azazel here, which would be pretty huge. Azazel dying would be nice, and we're going to actually take the fight here now. I'm going to get some hounds out to go help. Crumbled those guys down. We're doing pretty decent damage. I've more sleep is being trapped up by these goobers here. And, yes, caster rallied. So now we just finish off Azazel with the Traderkin, and we just win the game from here. Via's done a very good job of trading for the opening portions of the game, but he's definitely running out of steam, and the Eye of Morsleep's very healthy. And we've kind of collapsed a bunch of his Hellstriders back here, which is really good for me. We're going to send the infantry back to the point. And there goes Azazel. Azazel dying is awesome for me. Very wonderful position to be in. Because the demon forces are absolutely god-awful without leadership from their lords. And I think we save up for the Zinchtigors. They should do some pretty good work for me. He's just going so deep into the mobility game, which I actually do kind of like. Actually, just Sentis. Sentis should be able to clean this unit up here. He is taking my objectives from me, which is pretty annoying. So we're going to send the Zangors down here. Morgar's going to hold. We've got these little bowmen doing alright here. Need to catch some stuff. I really need to, like, finish off his army here. And I need to start taking objectives. Because right now I don't really have anything. Which is pretty painful. Keep Zangor and Morgar here. And our caster, he's going to waddle forward and do his level best to get some work done here. Let's break through there. Here come these guys, maybe. Doesn't really look like they're going to actually get the jump there. He's doing a good job of isolating those Zangors over there. We might be able to get a big boulder here. And just absolutely smack the living hell out of his units. Move up here. He's got the Sibilant Slaughtercade coming back out. Oh my goodness. Okay. We don't have any more big warp gazes to drop, which is unfortunate. We'll take the charge. We can take it. We can take it. We're going to move some infantry up to the middle. And we'll just fire in here and do our very best to hold on to this. We need a cap here, which we should be able to. We are taking it. We need to kill these Forsaken as best we can. Move this big boy back to the middle. And we're just going to hold an anchor. Because it's on Via now. I think we might be okay here in terms of trading. We got a pretty good charge there. We're going to pull back. We're going to hold. He's just trying his very hardest to, like, break me. We'll get that off. We're going to actually come to the low ground. With hounds? Or do we... Nah, we need to bring out the Sentis. Sentis are going to get up here real fast. Help me take this. We got a big collapse coming in on our position here, which is painful. We might be able to survive through this, though. It's breaking an awful lot of my Ungor Raiders, who have been very important to me so far this game. He's got Azazel back out. Damn, okay. That's fine for me, because Azazel coming back in is giving up a lot of pressure on the battlefield. I don't know how the hell his units are just kicking my ass here. Which is not good. That is really not good for me. Get in there. Do some work. Just keep fighting, keep fighting. We've got one more Traderkin here. And popping it right here, I actually think is going to get me some really nice value. We're capping this objective. We're going to bring more Senties in. Just Senties into the late game is going to do me a lot of good here. And we just need to fight, man. We just need to fight for our freaking lives. Sibilant Slaughtercade's running over me a little bit. We're going to get down here and save this objective with the Centaur hordes. Going to get up over there. We captured this objective, which is awesome. We're going to get the Hounds out now. Hounds are going to save me as well. God, this game has been really, really freaking close. We should be able to hold it. Come on, please hold it. And Ungor herd, man, the Ungor herds are really not going to do much of anything. We can't get rear charged here. Get that damage. We got 4 Winds of Magic that's available for us in a moment, so that might be really nice. And we've actually managed to hold this point. Get back in here.
One of your units has been destroyed.
And we'll get our last throwing axe out in just a moment. I think we've managed to save this objective. We'll take the fight here. We just have to at this point. We're trading okay. Azazel's going to be really annoying, but Morsleep is in pretty good spirits here. Got plenty of health, I think, to be able to swing this for me. It's going to be really nice to be able to anchor the objectives with just something, you know? And Morgur is going to be way too hard to snipe for Slaanesh here. I really don't think they're going to be able to manage it. I don't really want to go fight those damn chariots. I'm going to pull back a little bit. We need to just hang out here, though, for another minute. We'll get up the Destroyers of Drakewald, actually, and we'll kite away here. Getting that kill there is actually really nice. And we'll get the Eye of Morsleep back up. He actually threw the boulder. We'll see if he hits. Doesn't actually land anything. He's going to take this objective. We're getting attacked here. Our Hounds are actually taking a beating, which is painful. Very painful stuff. God, we're both just gassed right now. We have, like, nothing on the field, basically.
The enemy has captured one of your victory points.
I can afford to let him cap one objective right now. Morsleep's going to have to anchor here, man. We got Azazel being a dick, as usual. Azazel's very annoying. If he's going to kite back, we'll start capping this objective back up. We're going to hang here. We're going to bring up... he's just got so many Hell Scourge Marauders, man. Hell Scourges are very obnoxious. They're going to be pretty difficult to get rid of. But I think we bring in Zinchtigor, maybe? He's just got Hell Striders and all kinds of nonsense. So I don't think that's the best option. But I think we might just have to do this. Just to help out here, because these poor guys are just getting run over right now. We'll get another one to go to the low ground. Do we have it? Yes. Thank God. Okay, they're going to help out the Gore Herd. Morsleep's getting me some pretty good value. He hasn't been, like, the best unit in the game here, but he's done pretty good. We just need to keep anti-large stuff off of him, I think. And we should be alright. These guys have rallied. That's huge. We're going to get a good charge here. And probably finish off those Hell Scourges. Gore Herd need to take the charge. Need to pull back. Yeah, Acquiescence. Acquiescence is pretty annoying. But the Gore Herd are going to take the worst of that, and we might be able to survive. You know, Azazel is just like the biggest pain here, because he's really annoying to kill. And doing so is going to take me a while, so I don't actually know how I'm going to be able to survive all this shenanigans. Wowie. Kind of winning here with the Centaurs. We're going to get some Chaos Warhounds to help finish that off. We're actually running out of objectives here. Morgar has not been doing enough for me. What's going on here? Please don't drop. A drop here would be pretty devastating. Oh, come on. It's not me. My internet's doing perfectly fine here. We did not manage to save our Senties. Wow, man. Dude, Slaanesh. All this mobility has been just vicious. Our Goreherd did really nice. They got some good work done, but I think it might be... I don't think I can win this, actually. I think I'm going to lose this game. Slaanesh is just outpacing me in terms of mobility. And these damn Hellstriders have just been tossing my units around. Sibilant Slaughtercades killed a ton of my units as well. But we made a good go of it. Oh my goodness, look at the flattening that these hounds took. They just got completely run over by the Hellstriders. Let's get back down there. Maybe we can ninja it. This is rough. Hellstriders have really won the game for him. I mean, they've just completely destroyed my army, man. Oh my god. Just gotten absolutely manhandled by them. I just don't have a good answer to these guys. I mean, they just have so much speed. They're just outmaneuvering me on every single front, and I can't answer them efficiently. Curious what I would bring next time. Probably I need some Minos. Some Minos with great weapons to finish here. That would have probably made the difference for me. He's going to cap my bottom objective too, because I'm not on top of it. Not playing well enough here. I think I actually have cooked myself. I think I could have won this game if I had held on to my bottom objective there. I split myself off, and now I'm going to lose because I made a big mistake. And he's doing a really good job of roadblocking me here. No! Oh, I'm a fool. That's on me. I didn't realize I was in such a good position there. I thought I needed a double cap. That's GG. Damn. Okay. Uncle Raiders did alright. I Have More Sleep did okay. Wargore and Morgar were very inefficient. They didn't really get a lot done. Zazel did really nice that second time around. And these Hellstriders just got disgusting value. I mean, look at that. 2,000, 2,200. I mean, they came out a bunch of times, but I guess that's all you need is just shit tons of mobility to go up against the Beastmen. What's up, Dark Age? Yeah, I flubbed that one a little bit, I think. I don't think this build was it. I needed the I needed Chaos spawn out. That's why I brought those guys. They would have gotten hammered by the Hell Scourges too. Or by the Hellstriders. Goreherd did pretty well. He could have done a little better. My own Razorgore chariots might have done some good work. I do like the Eye of More Sleep. I think a Bray Shaman with Melkoths might have been better, but he was doing a really good job of isolating this guy and just beating the crap out of him. Malagor is too squishy as well in the sky. He's so fast, so if he gets Pavane popped on him, he's just going to run right into something that's going to absolutely obliterate him. So you can't keep him safe, really. Vorbagland, Broodmother... What do you bring, dude? I just don't know what you bring. Against just mass Hellstriders, I think you just have to bring a bazillion Centigores and hope that you can outtrade. I never brought out the Centigores of Tzeentch, which I think is also a bit of a mistake. Do you just play like a foot and infantry build against Slaanesh? I feel like that might not be a bad idea, like a blob of infantry. Just go stupidly wide. You still got the problem of your casters being very vulnerable. Maybe some better casts on the Chaos Spawn summons would have helped me out a lot too. Flock of Doom, maybe. I mean, Fate of Buna is just going to be really inefficient against those cavalry. So maybe this. Couple of Sentis in the opening to help out. More in reinforcements. Hounds. They did okay when they got charges off, but other than that, they were kind of bad. Maybe you just do mass Chaos Spawn. Slaanesh has always kind of struggled against these guys. They just have good weapon strength. These ones have poison also. So you can, like, slow everything down to a crawl and really make Slaanesh have to work for it. I did like the Eye of Morsleep. Didn't do bad. Maybe you can mix it in. A Gorgon is good in theory, but I think is going to be a little too tall and doesn't have any way to just get in there if Slaanesh decides they're going to run away from you. And then you'll never catch them. Jagged Dagger, just to get the recharge for more Melkoths. And you just pop Melkoths all game, I guess. And then Enfeebling Foe, maybe you could bring that. To debuff the riders. The problem with the Hell Scourges, the second time the Hell Scourges come out, they've got fully charged army abilities and stuff. Like, they've got max efficiency, like, they got the Soul Hunter ability fully charged. That's going to be really hard to deal with. Alright, and we're going up against Wood Elves now, so that's going to be interesting to see. Beastmen versus Wood Elves is a pretty high-paced, intense matchup. I'm actually debating whether I bring one particular lord or not. I don't think I am. Would be really cool in theory, but probably going to be wildly inefficient here against the elves. Do know for a fact what mobility I'm bringing. Alright, so that's the limit on all those. Get a couple of them out. I think I do bring this guy. against Wood Elves. That's gonna hit really hard. I do like it. These guys will be really good here for sure. I know that for a fact. So I'm going to drop a couple of them in. Way too squishy. Damage inefficient. Now, for how bad that last matchup was, I think this one's pretty favorable for me here. Beastmen have always been good against Wood Elves just because you've got so much cheap mobility just like they do. They've also got really light armor. And they don't quite have the ability to CC all of your mobility like the, like Slaanesh does. Like, they do have the Glade Lord with Prey of Anathrema, which I'm going to have to be very careful of. But outside of that, I don't really think they've got any other net abilities. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, please. Alright. We're on Rifts, which is an alright map for both sides. There is that objective where the trees like link up right on top of one of the objectives. You've got like that tiny little clearing, but forest all around it. I'm not sure if I want to play in that against Wood Elves. I also just realized that I'm not properly accounting for one particular unit who will probably just absolutely body me if I don't bring something to answer him. So we're going to make sure that we actually get an answer for him out on the field, just in case. Alright. We're kicking it off. Round 2. Tom and I have had some really close games, but most of them have been Khorne versus Wood Elves. I'm not 100% sure how this Beastmen versus Wood Elves is going to go. I'm definitely going to have the numbers advantage here. We'll see about battlefield control. Because the mobility that the Wood Elves have is also pretty vicious. Alright. He's also got a pretty small army. We're gonna jump out here and try and take all the objectives, actually. Just for some early pressure. And see how that goes. We're gonna have to be very careful with Malagor. Malagor is very squishy. if he gets caught at any point, gets shot at by missiles, or attacked by a forest dragon or something, he's probably going to just immediately get wrecked and die, and then I probably auto-lose the game. But he is incredibly quick, so if I can just kite around the battlefield with him and drop Flock of Doom on a cooldown, I should be in a pretty nice position. I did also bring Mantle of Gorok, just because I really like this ability. I mean, it gives you big boosts to weapon damage, armor piercing, weapon damage, and melee attack. And losing armor on Beastmen units is whatever, because most of your units barely have armor to begin with. I mean, just 40 melee attack is juicy as hell. That's a lot of stats to get. Alright, good luck, have fun, Tom. Let me make sure. Okay, we are on the right view, so we'll kick it off. Move everything up. He's got the Glade Rider core, the Hagbane tips. He's got a lot of infantry here that I can run over with the chariots. Still get up over here. Tuskor chariots are pretty durable. They shouldn't take too much damage from all of that. I just need to keep my Centaurs out of range. Wild Riders have or Glade Riders have crazy range for a missile unit. What do I bring out first, man? Wargors might not be bad here. Oh yeah, there's Durthu. That's what I was expecting. I'm not super surprised to see him. I was kind of expecting him, and that's what I ended up mixing up in my build, was bringing an answer to him, because he's going to be really obnoxious otherwise. I just need to keep my chariots and all my mobility away from him. But I'm happier to see him than I am some of the other units that the Wood Elves might be bringing out. I don't know, man. I think the Butchers of Kalkengard here are going to be really good. He's going to try and ninja this objective. That's fine. He can do that if he wants to. We're bringing up the Butchers. Come on. Go for it. Go for it. Where's the Razor Gore? Razor Gore's here. He can get a rear charge here. We've looped through for free, and we're just going to collapse onto the rear of these Eternal Guard, who are just, you know, alone and scared, and going to get flattened by the Razor Tuskors. Look at the damage on the chariots, dude. Now the Razor Gores are going right down the side. He's casting Flock of Doom as well. You know, we've both got that on the table. And, wow, killed an Eternal Guard right off the rip here. Keep the Tuskors away from Big Boy there. And the Butchers are going to come out, and they're going to be really nice. I'm going to push up the Ungors here to try and buffer out as much stuff as possible. Good charge there. Get back. Razor Gores have great mass, which is awesome. We'll keep here. Won't overextend. And Wargors or something else, man. Actually going to bring the Wargors forward. Let me get in there. We do have the Wild Hunters of Kurnus here. And we can bring up the Senties now and kite away with there. We'll get a nice charge through. We'll see if we can bait the Wild Hunters of Kurnus in. Because it'd be really nice to get some good damage on those guys. We need to get the infantry forward so they can buffer a little bit for my units. Pull back. Pull back and we'll hammer home again. Now I bring up one of the throwing axes to start chipping away at Big Boy. And man, oh man, the Butchers are taking an absolute pounding here from exactly what I said I didn't want to let happen is kind of happening a little bit because Durthu moved over. And he's kind of beating the crap out of my my poor guys here. Take the fight here. We'll do alright. We'll just start throwing in here. We need to get up on the Wild Hunters of Kurnus there. And we're going to pop our big spell here. That's going to help chip them down nicely, and we'll overcast a Flock of Doom as well. Just to punish them some more. We're not trading super favorably. I need to get my infantry more active as well. Get up here. Chariots are doing alright. We are, some of them are kind of getting run over. But we're supporting our infantry corps pretty decently here. Let's collapse there. Keep these guys there. And the Butchers of Kalkengard just need to heal for a bit. As long as we can hammer down the nasties, the Wild Hunters, we're gonna be in a pretty nice spot. He's got the Stag Knights here, the Lost Sylvan Knights, no less. They're also gonna be kind of difficult to deal with. Oh, we broke these guys. Come on, rally, Chariot. Oh, the Chariot did not rally. It's painful. Stag Knights are getting beat up, though, which is pretty good for me. Bring out more Senties. He's running out of ammo on all these Glade Riders and stuff. Keep fighting there. We kind of have an isolation on... That does not matter at all. I don't know why I'm wasting my time there. I'm not going to kill him. He's just too juicy. Let's see if we can get this happening. Catch. Catch. Not nearly as good as I want. But we can collapse there. And these guys are over-pursuing massively right now. Which is a big mistake on my part. Did kind of wear off, but I think we've actually caught the core of his mobility there. God, dude, Dirthu is so crazy. He's so strong. We captured this objective, though. Killing off a lot of his units there, which is really nice. We'll keep working this guy down with the throwing axes, and we'll actually go after the caster here. We use the Razor Gores to get aggressive, too. So they're pretty good at killing cavalry as well, even. We're holding a lot of objectives, also. He's got Glade Riders back here. Ungor Raiders aren't a bad answer to Dirthu, either. Just by sheer weight of fire, they can actually do some pretty good work against him. Just keep chipping them down, boys. Just keep buffering out. Keep the Chariots alive. Wild Hunters, we're going to collapse on them. We'll get up in the air with Malagor. We wasted a little bit of magic with the Mantle of Gorok. Didn't really go anywhere, unfortunately, but this isn't a bad catch for me. He's got Wild Riders coming. Wargore doing his thing. He doesn't mind getting in there and going fisticuffs. And we're just going to bring out Double Goreherd now and start grinding through stuff. And the Butchers of Kalkengard, I'm just going to hide in the woods. They're going to hide there as long as possible. This is the fattest Flock of Doom ever. Just keep chipping him down. This is a big fight commit from both of us. I've got some Zangors to follow up, and I'm going to get my mobility out now before they all die. Keep going up. I don't know why they dropped their orders. They just decided they had better stuff to do. Lost Sylvan Knights are at the edge of the map right now, not really doing a whole lot, which is fine for me. Razor Gore, dude, just flattening everything right now. Grinding down an awful lot of his units here. It did drop another Flock of Doom. He got a big break there, which is pretty awesome. There we go. Whew. Okay. Some of the Tusk scores didn't do too hot. They got wrecked a little bit. I feel like they did a nice bit of damage in the early game against the War Dancers. War Dancers were not useful here. They got flattened. And they're really vulnerable to Ungor Raider fire as well. But they do have that Shadow's Coil ability or whatever it is that makes them immune, or not immune, but gives them 40% missile resist, which I guess is nice. Butch is a Kalkin guard. They were mostly just masked to catch Durthu and work on him, but God, this dude is just so ridiculous. I mean, 3,300 value. He was really the only thing carrying weight for the Wood Elves here. The Hag Rider, or the Hagbane Tip Riders did pretty good as well. It was losing the Wild Hunches of Kurnus, and then the Sylvan Knights was kind of what did him in. The Lost Sylvan Knights are so expensive. And they don't have any armor. So even though they've got the Phys Res, they're still kind of squishy. I've only got 7,000 HP on a 32 model unit. Once they start losing models also, healing isn't nearly as good on them. And I do see what Tom was going for. I'm just not 100% sure that's the way to go against Beastmen. I do like Durthu, though. Durthu is just a monster. He is a beast, dude. He's so good. I don't think you need any of these. Arguably, you don't even need Wildheart. You can just bring Sword of Daith and Flock of Doom. And that's 2,200 for one of the best, like, anchor pieces in the game. He's got 11,000 HP. Just about. He's basically unbreakable with the 90 leadership. He's only weakness is to, like, fire damage. But even against a lot of the units that have access to that, and the magical attacks, he's still got the Ancient Protector, which negates around him. And then he's also got magical attacks himself, so he can hit back just as hard. He's a great answer to demon armies. But I think here Drycha's better because she's so cheap, and she's got Melkoths, which is super efficient against whatchamacallits, against Centigors. It's just a great spell. It just punishes so hard. Either that, or you do bring the Net Lord. So I think on a Great Stag, yeah, you can bring Arrow of Kurnus as well, just because it's such a good ability. But you just pop this, you lock something down, you obliterate it, you use Arrow of Kurnus to, like, do damage to my Lord over time. I'd have a lot harder of a time dealing with that. Wood Elf mobility is surprisingly shit. They're just not as cost efficient as Centigors. Like the Glade Riders are a comparable unit. They're actually a little bit better in my opinion, just because they're cheaper. Where the hell are the Beastmen? They're up here. So if you do like a side-by-side comparison, you've got basically the same stats, a lot less HP, and you don't have the Rowdy that gives you perfect vigor. But they are 200 gold less, so if you get the charge off, you're probably going to win the combat, even over a sustained grind. And it's just a little bit better for you. And then I really like the Hagbane Tip Core. They were really nice. They were doing a lot of work. The Chariots were doing a pretty good job of flattening your front line. Once the front line got cleared and you didn't have any pressure on objectives, it was just kind of a slow grind out from there. So I don't know how you resolve that exactly. Dryads wouldn't be a bad option, because they do have some Phys Res that can help against the Chariots running through them. War Dancers with the Azrai Spears might be pretty good. But if you go too heavy into stuff like this, then you do get, like, obliterated by Ungor Raider play. So I had a couple of those guys in reserve. And then you can just, like, pull back from the objective. If you try to chase the Beastmen units down, you know, you're, like, pulling yourself really deep in. And you get countercharged. And the low armor on this faction really starts to come into play. Wonder if Treekin are any good here. I mean, they've got good armor. They can anchor a point pretty nicely, I think. They're also not that expensive at 900 gold. Got decent leadership. They're slow as hell, though. So you really are putting them somewhere and just leaving them for the whole game, basically. I guess that's true, Tom. That's a good point. I don't know, then. Maybe it is just a really bad matchup for Wood Elves. What are Wood Elves doing best against anyway? Slaanesh isn't super surprising. I imagine Slaanesh is crying every time they see that matchup on the table. Oh, and I never actually reported the game. Oh, but you did it for me, Tom. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. What do you think would work? I mean, I really want to hear what you have to say. Treekin can anchor, but they can't kill anything. They sit on objective and die slowly. Okay. Dang. How does Sisters of Thorn do in this matchup? They're a little bit better in melee combat. They are much more expensive, though. They've got a really strong missile. They can out-skirmish Centaurs pretty hard, I imagine. Swift Shiver Shard Core, maybe? Like mass missile line? And you just try and delete anything that comes in range? Oh, that's just all units with 360-degree fire. Just do something crazy like this. And you bring, like, the cheapest lord possible. Man, I don't even know. Sisters are too expensive. Yeah. Well, so, what do you mean by good terrain? What's the good terrain that the Wood Elves are looking for, then? Are you talking about points where you've got a center objective that you're just pushing? And that you can, like, properly anchor on? Because you can respond to back pressure pretty effectively as Wood Elves. That would be the only thing that I can think of that would give you a really good shot. Alright. You know what, while we're waiting here, since I've got them, and I did promise to show some of them off, let's take a look at some of the replays from the new player tournament the other day. I've shown off a lot of them, but where are the ones that I was... oh yeah, this one's pretty good. Hunter's Himbo versus Hasnina from the new player tournament yesterday. I didn't show this off on stream, but it ended up being a pretty interesting game. The Empire player brought some pretty different stuff in reserve, which I'm excited to show off. I think you might have seen a little bit of it. Physical blocking terrain to anchor flanks. Beastmen can't get easy envelopes. If they're funneled, they lose the numbers advantage. That's true. That makes a lot of sense. There's not a lot of those maps, though, that people regularly do in tournaments, though. That have, like, choke points. I think everybody's just got, like, terrible trauma from the release of Warhammer 3, where everybody had to play on Silver Spire for the 10th time, and you just got choke pointed to hell and back and couldn't actually push objectives. So I think that a lot of people really do prefer these maps like Bordello Landing and Rift, where it's like, you know, it's an actual, like, land battle kind of deal. You know? Like, infantry positioning is still very important, but you can't just, like, completely shut down avenues of approach like you could in the release maps. That was probably people's biggest complaint. It ended up being mine eventually. After seeing all those maps on ladder for, like, the 7th or 8th time, that's just a little too much for my taste. At least now CA's got some decently better maps. We got the Carronade back here. All the forces are just kind of pushing up right now. We do have Theodore Bruckner on the field. Theodore Bruckner is not a character that I've really ever seen brought in a match. So seeing him, I was kind of shocked. I completely forgot about this guy, but he's a pretty good combatant on this Demigriff, you know. He's got a decent HP pool. He's got this fearsome combatant that lowers leadership, causes terror, doesn't really matter, but he's got good weapon strength and melee defense, as well as melee attack, so he can definitely get in there on, like, Lamprey's Revenge and Mournguls and do some good work. Volkmar is gonna just be on horseback here, or on foot, actually, my bad. Jogging around here, he's got his flaming Warhammer ready to go. Got the old, he's got the old cane here. He's got Grand Shield of Faith, Soulfire, Hammer. And we've got some early damage from the Shade Wraith Gunners, doing really good work against the State Troopers here, but not the best target to be shooting with the Shade Wraith Gunners. These guys are so cheap, they barely beat deckhand mobs in melee. And with all the Mournguls on the field, I think you'd be better served getting in range of the crossbows. Because you do have the Mortar. Mortar and the Carronade are doing a good job targeting down a lot of the Empire's stuff in the early going here. But Shade Wraith's actually pushing back the crossbows, who can range your infantry and do damage to them before they get locked in with the Empire infantry, is probably the better way to go about it. You can see they're doing pretty good work here. You can also shoot the Mournguls with these guys, and a nice Wind of Death comes in. Doesn't quite land square, though, so could have deleted both of these crossbow units. We got the glitchy little tree here. One of my favorite things in the entire game. Doing its thing. Volkmar, Theodore, they're anchoring here, and they're actually killing models off of the Lamprey's Revenge right now. I've already taken down one model, and doing some pretty decent chip in here. There are some deckhand mobs supporting these guys now, but the deckhand mobs are going to get handled here. The Grand Shield of Faith and Grand Hammer going down, buffing up an awful lot of stats for the Empire in a pretty big radius right now. They did increase the range on these passives, or on these activatable abilities, 55 meters now. Nice Burning Head goes through there. Roast some of the zombies, could have been a little bit more efficient, but better something than nothing. As long as you're getting some damage on your spells, it's not a complete waste. And the Bright Wizard just sitting back here, helping out with some of the Fellbats. Crossbowmen here taking big damage from the Carronade and the Mortars, which have just been pounding away all game so far. Not a lot on the Carronade, and there are silver or max chevrons on the Mortar and the Carronade right now. Mortar has been doing great work with those chevrons, actually. Dropping some seriously heavy damage on top of the Empire crossbows. Fellbats landing on top of these crossbows as well, and the Bright Wizard having a hard time securing this backfield, but Empire Knights are definitely going to be able to do it. They're very good at clearing out low armor, chaffy flying units like this. You know, Fellbats, Harpies, Chaos Furies, they all hate fighting Empire Knights. Empire Knights are very efficient against those, and a much better Burning Head this second time around, completely obliterating this Halberd mob, who just took some nasty work and are very low now. We do actually have some pressure going to the #1 objective here. Sending the Spearman hordes over to contest here isn't a bad idea. And back here, one Zentler's Reichsguard ready to go, General. Absolutely lancing down the hand cannon mob here. Took a little damage on the way in. And they did lock up the Shade Wraith Gunners as well, who are trying to get safe now. Cannon is doing some pretty decent damage to him. Taking a decent number of models out, but missing a little bit, kind of firing in weird positions on the unit and not really firing into the heart of them. I guess trying to avoid doing friendly fire, but I feel like zombies really shouldn't care about that. Mourngul's getting absolutely handled by spear hordes. Flagellants, Theodore Bruckner, as well as Volkmar the Grim also doing some good work against them. And as you can see here, man, the Empire State Troopers with the crossbow support and the Empire Knights have kind of cleared out most of the cap weight for the undead here. Really aren't any more halberds or regular deckhand mobs here. And the Lamprey's Revenge, they've been doing some pretty good work. They've gotten a lot of kills, but they're very lonely. And at this stage of the game, it doesn't really matter how heavily armored you are. It doesn't matter how much regen you have. You're just slowly going to get dragged down by all these Empire troopers here. And having Theodore Bruckner and Volkmar to continue hammering in here. Volkmar having the flamey attacks actually coming in big for his damage potential against these guys. It's giving him an extra 20%. He's debuffing their regen rate. Just doing some really good work. And a Wind of Death does come down and just do fat damage against all of the infantry targets here in the middle. But, you know, having the what's his, Grand Theogenist here, he's going to be buffing up their leadership. He's going to be keeping them nice and ready to continue fighting. And they're just going to drag down the Lamprey's Revenge. And the answers for the Vampire Coast here really aren't doing a whole lot. They've been having a hard time securing the backfield. Shade Wraith Gunners have gone down. The hand cannons, they really haven't gotten free enough to get a great volley off yet. Fellbats and Scurvy Dogs trying to answer. Mournguls, Night Terrors specifically with the Frostbite as well as the Chilling Aura. Slowing down these Empire Knights really badly. You can see how bad their speed is now. Once they start getting more damage in here, look at that, 31 speed on these guys. There's no way they can get out at this point. But Theodore Bruckner's going to do some work. He's going to move over, and he's going to start hammering home against the Mournguls. Getting a good attack in there, doing some nice damage. And he's still got plenty of room to go, man. He's gotten some decent value. 700 value, grinding against a lot of the big targets has been really good. Sigmar's Sons with the Grand Theogenist moving in to also answer these Mournguls. And now the Empire Knights. Now that they've gotten free, they're just going to turn around with some good fire support from the Free Company Militia. They're going to hammer home against the Night Terrors here and probably put these guys to bed. You know, there's really not a lot they can do there. Good volley from the hand cannons. They did get secured by the Scurvy Dogs and the Fellbats from the swordsmen that were chasing them, which is really good for the Vampire Coast, but they're pretty low right here. Some rallying crossbows, Free Company Militia, and all these type units. Probably going to be able to manhandle the remainder of these guys. You can see the poor Scurvy Dogs just getting shot to death and fighting Flagellants. Not a very good combat for them. And then one last beautiful Burning Head about to come in here, putting the icing on the cake against the hand cannons here. Getting a little bit of damage there on the back. Burning Head has a pretty odd little zigzag pattern that it does. Kind of like wobbles back and forth like this, you know. It's a little bit random, but it still finishes off the hand cannon, most importantly. Night Terror's getting dragged down on the #1 over here. Just getting massive, massive work done. And going to be able to take the triple cap here and hold on to it. And this is going to be game pretty much for the Vampire Coast. They've got Empire Knights compromising the Carronade back here finally. Mortar has continued to do some pretty solid work, but very slow reload time on these guys. I feel like double mortar would be better than bringing a carronade, honestly, because you've got the Shade Wraith gunners that can sit back here and hammer anything that tries to get back there and compromise your units. That'd be the best way to go about it. All right, and we've got our next match going. So we'll jump in here and get rolling. What's the password? Okay. Boom. Or not. Okay, sweet. Oh my god, Beastmen. What is this madness, dude? Oh no, he's on Tomb Kings. So he's been game planning over here. Understandable. I respect that. Beastmen are pretty tough for... Tomb Kings are pretty tough for Beastmen. You're not hopeless, though. Do have some good tools available to you. Jump out here for a minute while I build. Don't know if I want to bring that guy, though, this time. Maybe go for something a little bit different. What are we going for magic this time, though? Magic really does make all the difference in this game, man. It makes or breaks you. Alright, we're gonna go with this. For initial push, which I think might do some pretty good work. Need a little bit of sneakiness, so we'll get a little bit of this going. Keep Old Boy back here in reserve. He'll do pretty good work. Don't know about them. I'm debating going incredibly tall here. Do I dare do it, though? I really don't think I do. That would be so risky. A recipe for disaster if I've ever seen one. I think there's just better options for the Beastmen to make their presence felt on the battlefield than doing what I'm thinking of doing. One of these guys to move up isn't a bad idea either. Save a little money. We'll do that. You do have to go toe-to-toe with the skeleton horses in this matchup, and those can be a little obnoxious to face down. They can do some pretty horrendous damage to you if you're not careful. Actually, don't think those guys are going to be very good. I think we'll do these instead. Although, I don't know, they'd probably get cleared by Shabti. Good enough? Maybe good enough. Oh, and we're on Geyser Bluff. Geyser Bluff is a pretty good map for Beastmen. It's pretty small, but still nice and open, so you can actually get around the map. We're gonna rep a different tribe this time. I'm gonna go with the Redhorn tribe. Still trying to figure out which banner I like most. You know, that's the most important thing in the game, after all, right? You know, what banner looks good? Big maps are good, but some variety would be nice. Yeah, that's true. There's just not a lot of good... There's just not a lot of maps that have, like, good terrain blocking features. There's a handful out there, for sure. But people either go, like, really hard into, like, blocking the map up, and it ends up being, like, just all choke points. Or it's just wide-ass open, and there's really not any to speak of at all. Bordello Landing has a pretty good balance, where it's got a couple of features that kind of block edges of the map without, like, closing it off completely. That's probably one of the best examples that I can think of. What are some other ones? I don't know. I can't really think about that right now. I need to just get in here and do my thing. And then we can worry about all the other implications later. I'm not sure how this build is going to do, but that's kind of the joy of, you know... I'm not really learning Beastmen per se, but I certainly don't play them as much as I do Khorne. I mean, that's who I play 90% of the time. So we're kind of learning some of the matchups that I'm less familiar with, and Beastmen or Tomb Kings are definitely one of them that I don't have a lot of experience with playing against. And Safari Jack is a really good player, so this might go pretty poorly for me. Unless I play my cards perfectly here. Alright. Game time. So Geyser Bluff here does have a middle objective to push. We should be able to get on both of our points really early. The Vanguards aren't the most aggressive in the world, but they still give me a little bit of a jump. We'll see what the Tomb Kings are going to be bringing. Because they do also have the Skeleton Horseman Archers, who have... You know, I mean, they're Skeleton Horseman Archers. They're just like every other skirmish cav in the game. They can get out there and grab you objectives really early. And do some pretty good work as well. Get our very, very vulnerable units forward, and we'll just get right up on the objective. I tried to bring as much stalk on my infantry in the opening as possible, so they don't get deleted, like right off the rip. I had some stuff in the trees there. I actually send these guys over there too, and we'll keep a gore herd in the back pocket there. I brought Taurox just to try them out. I mean, how can you not want to play around with the big boy? He's just a really cool unit, man. We'll do Control Group 5 for these guys. And all this stuff, I'll just kind of leave them here as they are. So we're going to jump up in the trees here with the Centaurs just to try and avoid any firepower from the Tomb Kings. Now, Tomb Kings can definitely mix it up on you and go, like, just deep into the melee grind play, which is a really nice move against Beastmen, because Beastmen are pretty good at getting on top of mobility, not mobility, missile lines, and they are good against most other bits of mobility. But I think this is a matchup where Tomb Kings have just enough units with favorable like typings to drag down Centigors pretty effectively. Like, Nehekara Horsemen are pretty good against Centigors. They're also cheaper, and being undead, they're, of course, unbreakable unless they crumble out. You've also just got the regular old Skeleton Horseman spams. They don't win against Centigors, but they do so much damage that it might as well be a win for them. You have to just be all over your micro as Beastmen. Your units are so squishy with the low armor. That's like the one thing about them that I'm still getting used to, is doing the cycle charging better. I'm used to playing Khorne, which has fast units, but also hammer home hard enough and have decent enough armor that they can actually take a lot of engagements against chaff and just grind them out, rather than having to like cycle in and out with units and just make it happen that way. Alright. We'll hide behind the pillar here. Just, you know, avoid getting shot at all costs. We'll move all these guys forward. We do have the horsemen coming in. A new Shabti Greatbow, a Screaming Skull Catapult, and we do have Big Boy hiding in the woods here, trying to be sneaky. He's not very surreptitious, though. Cetra does not serve, and that includes the trees. He is not the Lorax, after all. He is the imperishable one. We'll just poke away a little bit, maybe. Maybe we can get a little bit of damage here. I'm not sure if I bring Gorbel first. I think I actually bring Gorbel in before I bring anything else. Nah, I think I need to save up for the Butchers here in the early game. A little bit of poke. If he wants to shoot garbage with his uber expensive units, that's fine by me. He could push me off the objective. We're going to do a little bit of sneakiness on the side over here. I don't mind this trade. It's painful losing infantry and taking damage on the nose like this, but I'd much rather the Ungors take this damage than my more expensive stuff, which I'm creeping up right now. I'm going to try and get some good opportunities going here for myself. Fire in here. Is this Tomb Guard? No, Skeleton Warriors. Okay. Creep the infantry across. Get the Gore Herd moving over here too. Lots of infantry over here. What's going on with the game? Come on, rally. Don't do this. Alright, I think we're back. I literally didn't lose connection, but for half a freaking second, and it booted me out. I swear, if we could get dedicated servers, it would change so much. Alright, we'll get back in there and try to persevere through it, I guess. Failed to join game. Player statistics unavailable. I should have screenshotted my build, because I don't remember it at all, actually. I had a whole bunch. I had some Centigores, Grog Hooves, and the throwing axes in the opening. Had a bunch of Ungor herds getting shot to death on the middle objective. I had my Gore herds chilling in the woods. Maybe it joins me back in with my build intact. No, of course not. Alright, well, we'll remake it real quick. We had the Wildcaster with Traderkin, none of the abilities, and just that. 3 of these guys. No, I didn't have any Zangors. I had these guys and these guys. 2 of them. One of these here. What was the last 1,300 gold? Oh yeah, Centigore. Oh, and the Destroyers of... Yeah, the Destroyers of Drakwold. Okay, there we go. I don't think I had a Centigore of Tzeentch. God damn it. Had these guys. What was the remainder of it? Does anybody remember what the rest of my army was? I hate to ask y'all, but here I am, begging. I think I had another throwing axe. Definitely had the Razor Gores. I didn't have any more Gore herds. I don't think. Exasperating. Oh yeah, I had Vice President Gorbel. Maybe I did have a Centigore of Tzeentch. I think I did. Yeah, that actually does look like my army. Okay. Let's get it. Let's do it. No worries, guys. I figured it out. We got the right build. If we drop again, then Jack is going to get the win, because it was definitely me. I don't know why CA is claiming bug fixes for stuff that really did not actually get fixed. It's sad. It's a little unfortunate. They said they fixed the whatever bug or error there was that was causing people with Ethernet to drop and for lobbies to malfunction if they, like, disconnected for a moment. But I'm still having the rare and occasional issue where that is the case. So, I don't really know what they're on about with it. It'd be really nice if I could, just play the game. Which is why we need the dedicated servers, and me and just about everybody who plays a lot of multiplayer is probably going to be, like, banging the drum for that until the end of time, because it would make a big difference for the game. Just as a whole, it'd be really awesome. Peer-to-peer is just too iffy. So we're gonna redeploy and do the same thing, basically. We'll push up through the trees, we'll get over here, we'll hold the objective, we'll have the Gore Herd, and we'll move him over eventually. And we'll summon in the Butchers first, since that was my first summon as well. And Torox is going to continue to hide behind the pillar, because the Ushabti Great Bows and stuff are still going to just shoot me down. They're going to be kind of obnoxious in that regard. But we might be able to just, you know, play the objectives here. The 1 and the 2 shouldn't be too hard to contest for me. I can just keep throwing stuff up and holding on to the objective. He wasn't very aggressive getting up to the number 2 with the infantry, and if he is, then I can just spring out and jump on points. He's got to defend a bunch of missiles, and I really don't. You know, that's the benefit of playing Beastmen. The missiles you do have are, you know, they are what they are. They're pretty annoying. Throwing axes and Grog Hooves are really great. They are an awesome unit. They have the heal as well as poison on their missiles. So they're really excellent at skirmishing Cetra. So they can poison him and slow him down. They can get away from him. If they take a little bit of poke from Skeleton Horse Archers or something, they'll heal up a lot of that damage. They're not going to love getting shot at by Ushabti Great Bows, though. And those are going to be really annoying to have to try and deal with. Get the boys in. Come on. Let me select. Thank you. A little bit of poke there, which is pretty nice for me. I'm just going to chill here with all of these guys. We'll push up onto the point there. I'm just going to get forward. We'll focus fire. Actually getting charged a little bit, which is a bit of a mistake by the Tomb Kings here. Taking a little bit more damage than he would like, for sure. So the Screaming Skull Catapult's going to be obnoxious, but shouldn't be the worst thing in the world for us to have to grind through at the end of the day. We'll bring these guys up. We'll start moving forward over now. Leave the Gore Herds back here just to chill. Definitely going to need the Blackhorn's Ravagers to help out in these fights.
You have the foe's victory.
Now, we are taking damage on the Ungor Raiders, which is less than desirable. I don't super want that to be happening right now. Take the engagement. We'll push up a little. Move these guys over. He's not really moving off this objective, so we're actually going to just, like, go over and start trying to help all our stuff out, and we'll shoot these guys. The Nahakara Warriors are going to be very squishy to my Ungor Raider fire. We'll move up now. We can afford to take a little bit of damage on Torox here. We're actually moving the Ungor Raiders into position to, like, get on, or the Ungor Spearhead to get on top of the Ushabti Great Bows, which is great for me. And Torox is just going to come screaming across and try to do the same thing. We'll pull back here and gun these guys down a little. Bring the Butchers forward, bring these guys forward. And we're going to try and just ice the position over here while all these guys stay safe. We'll bring out Zinchtigors. Zinchtigors are awesome. They're very fun. Just bulldoze these guys here. Oh, he's got the snakes coming up. Brass Body to not take a bunch of damage from what lasers do end up hitting me. We're dodging a little bit of the fire. We got out of the worst of it, which is awesome. We're going to pull back. We're going to hammer here. Just keep pushing up those guys. Kill these. Blackhorn's Ravagers can go. These nasty little bastards can go as well. We'll move up there, and we are taking a pounding on the Grog Hooves right now. So we need to get out of here with my very expensive guys. Zinchtigors can go, Torox can go, Butchers can go. We're going to box over here. We're getting some pretty decent damage. I mean, we're kind of losing right now, but I think we'll be able to rally and be alright. Because we're controlling the objectives. He's got a bunch of stuff trying to respond to me here. And I should be able to overrun there. Well, we've got the Destroyers of Drakball just chilling there. Man, Unger Raider's getting super punished. We'll try and keep our throwing axes as healthy as possible. We did get on top of the Sepulchral Stalkers, who are definitely going to be taking the worst of this here. Taurox can help. Spears are going to go help there. We're going to get out of here. We've got Centaurs running over his Horse Archers, which is really awesome. He's got a Tomb Prince coming in, which is pretty cool. Collapse there. Let's get back here. Let's get out here. We'll go there. Just keep bringing up Centaurs. We just need to keep pressure up. Pressure is going to be very important here for winning. Because we've gotten some pretty good engagements so far. Taurox and the Zinchtagors are actually killing the shit out of those guys there. And we're going to pull out now. I don't think I need to use that right now. Let's throw some axes here. There we go. That's some pretty brutal fire from the Chosen of the Gods. We actually do have some stuff moving up over here that we need to deal with now. We should be able to kite it down, though. And we'll pop this here. This should do some pretty good damage for us. Old boy's doing pretty nice. Taurox is doing pretty nice. We're killing these guys pretty good. I'm gonna get back here, actually, and go after them. Just locking him in combat is going to be really favorable for me. And we're compromising a lot of his missiles right now. We're going to use the Destroyers of Drakball to get aggressive, and we'll move these guys up now. These guys can get out. Let's get away from here. Let's move out from here. Let's get away from here. We kind of won this combat pretty nicely. We're trading okay. We definitely need to compromise these Ushabti Greatbows, though. I honestly don't mind playing in my opponent's deployment zones. It's not always a good idea, but you can get away with it as Beastmen a lot of the time. We're gonna run over stuff here. And Chosen of the Gods are like completely out of ammo, which is awesome. Let's actually get away. We don't want to take any more damage on the Butchers. They've taken quite a bit of a pounding, but they're pretty healthy, so they can definitely get some work done. We've got a very nice situation developing back here. We're going to drop this now before they start to separate. Just keep shooting all of these crappy skeletons and stuff down. The Destroyers did actually get on top of those units, which is pretty funny. Let's pull back. Get away, get away, get away, get away. In this little Screamy Skull catapults actually kind of blown some of their own guys up, which is pretty funny. Taurox and all these guys are going to hold. We just need to try and escape with these Centaurs. I don't think the Centaurs are going to get away at this point, but that's not the worst thing in the world for me. I'm going to bring up the Razorgore Herd, actually. Razorgore Herd hit really freaking hard. They're shockingly good at killing all kinds of nasty stuff. He's bringing out a lot of missiles again, which is okay. We're just going to get Butchers back. Butchers and the heavy-hitting stuff is going to retreat and try and persevere as long as possible. Destroyers have gotten some okay value back here. They are dying, which is unfortunate for me, but could be worse. And we're going to start, actually, we're going to start getting aggressive again. Because I actually think we have a pretty nice situation. We've got the number 3 as well. We're just dominating the objectives right now. We're killing some of these skeleton spearmen with our Centaurs. We're going to stop up the attack here. Get back. We'll send the Butchers in. And our Razorgores and our Centaurs are going to go back here. We'll pop the Traderkin here. That's going to hit really hard. Cetra is going to hate this, man. Torox is going to help finish off the Tomb Prince, who's now very isolated and surrounded by the Butchers, which is great for me. Look at the freaking Centaur Great Weapons, dude. They just flatten these guys on the charge. We're going to go back here. Just keep up the pressure, man. This is all you got to do as Beastmen. You can throw stuff forward all day. You can play as aggressively as you want to, which really complements my playstyle nicely. Goreherd, they're getting dealt with finally. They're kind of getting dragged down, but they should be alright. We're going to get back here and just run this over. And the Screaming Skull Catapult, he did a good job of saving that. But we should still be alright. Let's get around. Let's collapse there. He blocked up with some Skeleton Horsemen, which is a really nice play. Razor Goreherd. They're going to try and push through. We're going to try and get back. We just need to, we can stuff him here, I think. Which is, you know, probably just how I'm going to finish the rest of this match out. Butchers and the Goreherds are running over the Nehakara Warriors now. And he's kind of won here. A little unfortunate. We'll charge through, though. Let's pull back. This dive isn't going very well, actually. I don't really think I need to get after the Ushabti Great Bows anymore. Just controlling the mobility is probably going to be more important for me at this stage. Groghoves are doing a decent job of grinding down this Skeleton Horseman, and we do actually have the Razor Goreherd going in here. Hell yeah. Very cool. Tomb Prince is being annoying, trying to kill some of the Butchers, but not doing a very good job right now. Try and get away. Another one of these guys. We'll unsummon there. Love, love, love Bray Shamans on the Chariots, man. They do some really nice work. They're actually pretty annoying. We'll get a charge off here. Nah, they broke. We're going to run through the infantry, though, and clear ourselves. We'll just go there and fight. Destroyers of Drakwold have been getting chased by these Carrion for a long time now. They have not been able to do much of anything. And we do have Centaurs who dropped orders, which is great. Ain't that just the way? Bolter, look at the Groghoves, man. They're continuing to fight and grind down that unit. The passive healing on them doing me a lot of favors right now. He's going to respond here, which is fine. I'm going to bring out another Centaur of Tzeentch. They should be able to do good work. That's a pretty nice spell cast. We'll get in there. We're just going to try and lock Big Boy down. And Traderkin him. We'll send these guys here. Get these guys here. Go after here. We've still got some Goreherds there. They can hang out, do whatever they want to do. We'll get behind and charge. Run over stuff here. Get in here. Torox is going to go behind. Hasn't really gotten a ton of value, but he hasn't really gotten sniped either. He's going to go after the Ushabti Great Bows. Sweet. Alright. Jeez. That was a slog of round 3, unfortunately. You hate to see it. Mostly it came down to that crash the first time around, which was very annoying. Beastmen. Where are they? Tomb Kings. Okay. That was a really well-played match by Safari Jack. He didn't really have the protection for his missile line that he needed. He had a lot, and I ended up getting some pretty decent engagements on them. Just being able to work them down. It's the absolute nightmare for the Tomb Kings. It's having your missile line compromised like that. Alright, we got Martinius next. Yeah, the reason that we were playing so long is because my Ethernet got disconnected for, you know, the whole issue with CA lobbies. Oh my god. The peer-to-peer tortures me every single time. But we made it through. How are you doing, Elvia? Are you in this tournament right now? 2-2. 2-2 on a lot of players. Scrambled Egg and Attack Speed are undefeated. I'm right here with Via. It would have been fun to get a rematch against Via Anime. We're going to be facing down the mighty Martinius, though. Let's toast it up here. Copy this. We'll drop it there. Torox wasn't bad last match. He didn't really spend a lot of time fighting, though, honestly. But he did soak up some missiles and draw out the Sepulchral Stalkers to chase him, and I got a really good engage on those guys. So if you can just, like, torment your opponent that way, you can do pretty good. Oh my god. Martinius on Grand Cathay, man. Grand Cathay's pretty good against Beastmen, honestly. They can do some pretty nasty damage to you. But I think we'll be okay. I come in here with some of this and this. What else might we need? I actually do think some Zangors are a good idea. We've got to worry about Onyx Crowmen. Onyx Crowmen are really obnoxious. Under pretty much any and all circumstances, they're going to do some pretty nasty work to your mobility. And just so there's no peeking, I'll give myself a chance to do my forces up nicely here. Maybe they don't need to be on that. Alright, sweets. We got a decent little core army here. See what we can do with the rest of the build here. How about that? Another one of these guys. No, I don't. Yeah, I've got an answer to that already. Martinius brings some pretty wild builds, so you know I could get cooked just off the rip by something I'm just thoroughly unprepared for. But, you know what? Whatever. We gotta make sure that we're on the right map, too. Glade. Okay. Glade of the Everqueen's not the ideal map for Beastmen. It's very open. And, your opponent can definitely go sit on an objective and just prosper if they really want to. What are the scariest things? We need to be careful of, Final Transmutation. Like, one good Final Transmutation nuking my Lord would be pretty brutal. But I think I can keep him safe enough up in the sky to just stay out of it. Is this going to be any good? I don't think so. Yeah, okay, this looks good enough. Alright, let's do it. Let's see what Martinius is bringing to the table, man. I love seeing the shenanigans. He's always got some kind of off-meta stuff that he just knows how to make work, man. It's really impressive. I always got to give it up to Martinius. Yeah, really small army from him. Yup, this is gonna be rough, I think. Try and keep these guys hidden as long as possible. Keep the Zangors in front. We'll just use our Ungor herds to move up initially. We might get obliterated by, like, Dragon Breath and stuff, and then there's always the potential that Cathay just has, like, some obscene heal blob that I cannot break, which would be pretty painful. I don't really have a counter for that right now. But maybe we can kite around and get away from it. The objectives are really close on this map, though, so it's going to be a little bit easier said than done to pull that off. Got Jade Warriors. Oh, the Righteous Lances of Wei Jin are out here. That's cool. They're going to be a pretty good answer to the Razor Gorge Chariots. We're just going to wait with our stuff that doesn't have Stalk just to see what else is coming out. The Righteous Lances are so expensive, dude. Zhao Ming on the ground. He's got transfer. Oh, he does not have the, doesn't have Final Transmutation. We might actually be okay here, actually. It's just going to be interesting to see how this plays out. What do I bring out first? He doesn't really have any missiles to speak of right now. He's got some crane gunners back here, now that I say it. He's got iron hails, it's just whatever. Groghooves are going to kind of go out there and do their thing. I'm going to hold here. He's bringing up the horsemen. He's getting a nice rear charge here.
Keep it from the foe.
Let's go pop this here. We'll get over here. We'll get over here. Throw some axes and stuff. Oh, that didn't go too badly for me, truthfully. I mean, he took quite a bit of damage, honestly. Let's get the Wargore up. Is he gonna go dragon form? He really should. Let's get over here. He's gonna want to take a fight on this objective, I think. He is going dragon form. Send the Wargores over here. And let's make sure that our expensive stuff doesn't get gunned down by things. There's a good dragon breath. God, dude, dragon breath is so punishing. It hurts so bad to get hit by that. Let's just send some stuff over here. He's got the iron hills boxing me out a little bit. Righteous lances look like they want to come over. That's okay. They can do that if they want to. Let's actually send Razor Gores in now. Razor Gores are going to be pretty hard for Cathay to deal with, actually. I'll move up my archers. We need to make sure that they're spread out so they don't all get deleted by, like, one really good cast of something. Okay, we're kind of trapped up here, which isn't great. Need to pull away. Alright, this is actually pretty nice for me here. Let's get up here with the Wargores. We're going to focus down these guys. We're going to get around. We've actually got a bit of an overwhelm coming in here. The Razor Gores are going to wreck his life here, I think. He doesn't really have an answer to them. We're going to get these guys through. They're going to do some good work. We'll bring out more pressure. Wargores are going to help grind down these guys. We'll take the fight. Screw it. The Onyx Chromen are coming for me, but we've completely flattened this unit of crane gunners here. And look at the damage the Righteous Lances of Wei Jin have taken. They've actually gotten hammered pretty damn hard. We just need to ignore the big boy in the sky. We're not going to be able to do anything to him. Jade Warriors are pushing through. That's pretty painful. You don't love to see that. Just keep mobile. Keep mobile. Run, 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 run. Run stuff. Run important units. We need to get these Iron Hail Gunners before they kill the rest of my dudes.
Take it back.
Let's get back. Let's run over. Come on. Run. Yeah, Groghooves I've really let get beat up on, which is very painful. Come on, get through. I need you to get on top of these guys. If I can't kill this unit here, I'm probably going to lose the game, because Iron Hail Gunners are really vicious. They will absolutely hammer the shit out of you, given the opportunity. We did kill his Onyx Chromen here. We're going to get these guys out and through. We're killing Iron Hails pretty nicely. He does have some Crane Gunners rallying. We're actually going to use Malagor to get those guys. I'm going to come over here, try and run this stuff down now. Didn't get the best charge there, and he has taken the objective, but we're going to recontest, and we might be able to just hammer his stuff down here over time. Breaking those guys, that's really good. Let's get through. Let's run this stuff down. Start bringing up some Gore Herds here. Getting a good charge off. Zangors are rallying. We don't have to do anything too wild here. We should be able to just gun down the Jade Lancers for the most part. Let's pop this there to finish those guys. Run over there. We've ground down his number 2 objective also, and we've got some Zangors doing a good job of holding there. Let's go get a charge. We need to bring the, we need to be better about where we're spawning stuff in from. Because I have not been super on top of it up to this point. And that's going to be really important for me into the late game. We're doing a great job here with the Wargors. They're like literally pushing off all of these units right now. And we've got one Razor Gore Chariot still doing some despicable stuff back here to the units. It's a pretty good jump. He did get on top of me here with those guys, on some of these dudes and these dudes. But we do have Gore Herd coming in. They should be able to grind this objective down while I'm just dealing with units elsewhere on the battlefield. And I think we've killed most of his mobility. Let's finish off the Peasant Horsemen, and the Righteous Lances are probably going to break here. What do I need? I think Minotaurs wouldn't be a bad idea, honestly. I do have Minotaur great weapons in the back pocket, if I need them. Don't know if I need them, though. Oh, such a difficult call, honestly. He did get up on the objective again, but the Wargors are just continuing to break positions. He's got Onyx Crowman coming in. We've got pretty good engagements with our infantry now. Just need to get these guys out. We'll finish off these Jade Warriors there eventually, and I do actually kind of want to bring in the Minotaur now. Minotaur is going to help with the big guy in the sky, because he's going to be really obnoxious to handle. We've kind of broken the worst of the units here. And that's going to be it. Damn, let's go. Whew. That was stressful. No! Oh, I had the blocker up. That's so fucked. We'll go back. We'll just, we'll go in and I'll do the replay. Don't worry, guys. I got you. Let me back out of here. I can't believe it. You know it had to happen at some point. We'll get right back in here and we'll do this. I'm deeply, deeply sorry, folks. That's my bad. We'll amend this situation shortly, though. We're gonna jump in here. We're on Glade of the Everqueen. It's Beastmen and it's Grand Cathay. We're gonna just jump in here. So I've just kind of deployed all my forces. I got a lot of stuff in the trees here. All the stuff that doesn't have stalk, except for the Ungor Raiders, are hiding here. You know, the Zangors especially. I just didn't want any early artillery to obliterate them. That would have been a big feels bad moment. I've got Malagor, I've got Wargors on foot. Wargors are just disgusting. They're such good fighters. They're only 600 gold with all of their abilities stripped, and they've got really good combat stats. I mean, they're like even better Khorne cultists. So that's pretty much what you're looking at there. The Righteous Lances of Wei Jin up in the sky here. Very cool unit. They're going to do pretty good work against my Razor Gore chariots. I brought 2 of these guys. I think they're really good against missile factions. They just do a really good job of breaking positions, and that's kind of the game plan here. Zhao Ming, I'm just going to ignore him as long as possible, and a really decent charge is coming down from Martinius. Getting a bit of a rear charge with the Righteous Lances, while the Peasant Horsemen hammer home. But the little spear herds, man, you know, hanging in there, getting a little bit of damage in return, and a pretty good Flock of Doom. Flock of Doom isn't bad against Righteous Lance-type units anyways. And also hits the Peasant Horseman and gets me some good early value for Malagor. Very efficient cast of Flock of Doom there. Zhao Ming looking to get up in the sky and start being the nightmare and the terror that we all know he really is. Zangors, Ungor herds, all moved up onto the point. Dragon Breath is just a disgusting spell. It does so much freaking damage, man. Half health off of my Ungor Spears in one fell swoop. Grog Hooves and this Razor Gore Chariot Horde looking for an opportunity to dive. We've got the Bandits of the Silver Road back here. They've got the fire damage and they imbue flammable onto stuff as well. 2 Iron Hail Gunners trying to box me out with the Crane Gunners opening up a little bit. And, you know, the Righteous Lances are right here, but, you know, Razor Gore Chariots have really good mass, and they'll just absolutely flatten infantry units given the opportunity. I do want to pull out here, though. I don't want to take too much damage, but some of the Razor Gores do get a little stuck, which is pretty unfortunate. Taking a bit of a fight here against the Jade Warriors, just trying to do some damage. Another nice Flock of Doom comes down, and here we go. Now I'm getting on the squishy stuff. The Righteous Lances are taking some pretty vicious damage from the collision attacks on the Razor Gores, as well as getting shot at by the Grog Hooves and attacked by the Zangors. With Flock of Doom being cast on them, they're just suffering the worst of everything right now. They really are not having a good time. And I just absolutely flatten the Crane Gunners with the Razor Gore herd. Beautiful, beautiful charge by them. They just went right through the heart of the entire formation and just KO'd these guys immediately, which is a really nice position for me to be in now. I've got some Centigores. They've intercepted these Peasant Horsemen. Grog Hooves do get jumped on by Onyx Crowmen, which isn't great, but they're going to hold their own for the most part. They're doing a little bit of damage here, losing some models, but it could be a lot worse. Using the Razor Gores, trying to run over these Peasant Horsemen that are on top of the Centigores of Tzeentch, who I'm going to pull back now. Centigore is going to get in there and get after those Jade Lancers. And the Iron Hail Gunners do break here. Razor Gores are just running all over the backfield right now. I am kind of losing on the number 3 objective here, though. Ungor herds and raiders and everything kind of running away from old Zhao Ming, which isn't super surprising. He is pretty terrifying and deadly. Nice catch here. Centigores get right on the back of these Onyx Crowmen, who are diving onto the Grog Hooves yet again. They just get flattened on the charge, man. Centigores are very good at hammering stuff like that down. Righteous Lances getting finished off here by these Centigores of Tzeentch. And I do flip the number 2, even though he flipped the middle. I've got his home objective with the Wargores and this Spear Herd. You can see the kind of damage they do to infantry units. You know, just grinding through Jade Warriors is really nice for me. Malagor, he's going to do it himself, Thanos style. He's going in on top of the Crane Gunners just to chew through these folks. Getting some big damage and another big breath attack coming down. Brutalizing my poor Ungor Spears, who are all over the Bandits of the Silver Road. And the Razor Gores, they're trying to get rid of the rest of the Iron Hail Gunners that are out here. And the Righteous Lances have struggled all game so far. They've just been getting dragged down by a variety of different targets. Razor Gores actually have decent melee attack, too. So they can, like, actually hit in here, and they've got good weapon strength also, so they can chip down Righteous Lances in a pinch. But seeing the Bandits of the Silver Road, we're just going to leave that fight, and we're going to get right after these guys and try and run over them, get rid of them. And we've pretty much removed all the harmony on the field. There's nothing out here that's buffing anything up and mutually supporting at this point. Zangors are all over the place. I've got the Ungor Raider Concave Fire going in full effect now. Just shooting down Jade Warriors slowly but surely. Doing their best. And the Grog Hooves take a nasty charge from Zhao Ming, but they've got their throwing axes, and they're poisoning him all the while, and more importantly, occupying his attention. Malagor's back here. He's just been casting Flock of Doom all game. He's got 1100 value already. These Great Weapon Centigores get a nice charge on these Jade Warriors. They're going to get a rear charge onto these Jade Warriors now, helping out the Zangors, who have done a great job of holding. Good value on both of these so far. Grog Hooves, they get free. They're pretty beat up, but they've still got some room. They've got really good leadership as an ROR. They've also got that Drunken Bravado, which is healing them over time. It's not a huge one, but every little bit counts. And I think Martinez is going to call it here in a moment, actually. I don't think he goes much longer. He does get on his home objective with the Jade Warriors. But the Wargores are incredibly healthy, and they are just continuing to grind through units. Killed some Peasant Spears. Now they're going to get on the Halberds, who really aren't going to do much of anything to those guys. They do have some AP, They've got terrible melee attack, though, so it's going to take them a while to chew through their HP. Centaur, great weapons, pulling back. Going to get some more support. I bring the Minos out, and that's where Martinius calls it, because I recapped this objective. I'm probably going to cap this eventually as well. And he just doesn't have anything DPS-wise on the field at this stage of the game. No missiles of any kind. The Razor Gores did great work chewing through all of them. That's the power of them, man. Look at the value on these guys. 1,500 here, 1,200, more than paying for themselves, and removing all of those very high-value units in the process. It's not just like chaff that they were running over there either. Oh, yeah. Martinius is appropriately bemoaning some of the weird behavior of missile units. Alright, there's the awesome game that I was talking about. I'm sorry for flubbing the blocker. I'll try not to forget it again. Yeah, he was saying that the crane gunners, when he gave them like attack orders, would like turn around and then try and line up shots, which kind of makes sense. I've seen it happen myself playing some of the gunline factions. I don't know what it is. Sometimes when you give orders to units, they just don't respond the way you think they should. You know, like units charging back into melee combat when you give them orders to retreat. Like, I understand if something is, like, stuck that you would want to go save them, but, you know, I would prefer if units just did what they were told to do rather than some of the wonky interactions that they have now. Here we go. What's going on in the tournament? We should be about into semis and everything. I don't know if didn't report. Beastmen, where's Grand Cathay? There they are. Boom. We'll see if we get up in top 4. We don't have great tiebreakers, unfortunately. Via beat Boss Toss. Just going to help out a lot. We'll see how the rest of the bracket shakes out. We've got quite a few games that still need to be played. I'll show y'all here. So, these 2 games are finished. Me and Martinius, and then Via Anime beat Boss Toss. Who is Boss playing today? Oh, he's playing Tzeentch, which is pretty cool. I love some Tzeentch action, man. When Warhammer 3 came out, I actually played a lot of them in the early months of the game. They're one of the cooler campaigns as well in Realms of Chaos, in my opinion. So Hectorius Rex lost to Son of Heaven. How does that mix things up here? Just means that Son of Heaven got a first dub, which is nice. Safari Jack is right here. Scrambled Egg probably gonna win. Although, I mean, Attack Speed is playing Wood Elves. If Scrambled is playing Vampire Coast, that's gonna be a pretty hard matchup. Yep, Vampire Coast. Ooh-wee. So we'll see how that shakes out, and I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get into top 4. I mean, we're up here at the top right now. Oh, and we did get some more points, because Safari Jack actually beat Elvio. That's nice. More Swiss points for me. That might actually make the difference to get me in there. Because otherwise I'm, like, right here with all these other folks, you know. Alright, we'll kick our feet up and wait for a bit, and we'll just see what's gonna happen as we go. Just in case we end up going against Via again, we're gonna have to formulate a new build against Slaanesh, because, man oh man, Slaanesh has some really nice options against the Beastmen, that's for sure. I got beat up on pretty badly in that game. I just don't love the idea of bringing Malagor. I guess I can always just do my level best to stay as far away from Azazel as possible. Try and persevere that way. I'm curious how Gorbals would be in that matchup as well. They might not be terrible. Wargors are always pretty good. They can definitely grind nicely. I like the Centaurs of Tzeentch because of the magic damage that they do. They are pretty expensive, though. And I feel like I can get the same amount of work from just regular Centaurs. I think some skirmish in the early game is going to be very, very important. Like, we were doing really nicely with the missile play. It was working out much better in our favor than some of the other situations we were finding ourselves in. The Ungor Spearherd were pretty decent. I don't know if we need to really bring the shielded variant, though. Like, they'll do better against the skirmish play, but you don't really want them to... You really don't mind if these guys get shot by missiles. They're cheap and dinky, and like the 50 gold can make a bunch of difference in what you can actually end up bringing out. I'm gonna bring one shield. I do like Zangors. Zangors are really nice here. Maybe just one Chaos Spawn for mass wouldn't be bad. Because then the Hellstriders have a harder time getting in for free. You've got Centaurs, they can skirmish a little bit. Chaos Spawn, they can kind of hold in there. Do their thing, be annoying. Just like max Centis. Maybe some Harpies wouldn't be bad. They'd be a little bit better off than the Chaos Warhounds maneuvering around the battlefield at least. But these guys do have cap weight. They do also have poison to slow stuff down. Definitely need to bring Spawn out a little bit better. I don't know if Minos are really necessary. I mean, you just bring like max Spawn and just spam them out and hope they can finish units. Some Zangors. One great weapon Mino. Or Centaur. Maybe the Butchers of Kalkengard. They're very expensive, though, and they're going to get shredded by some of the units that are available for Slaanesh, is my only fear for them. I don't know how well they'll hold up at the end of the day. Maybe another Gore Herd? Maybe a... Nah, I don't think a Gorbal is going to work. Well, one of these guys on a chariot might not be bad. 1050 for, you know, mobile assistance. Will of the Dark Gods isn't a bad ability. I really do think that the Flocks of Doom would have been better than my Traderkin caster, who just kind of got knocked over and bullied by Azazel for the most part. It's kind of thin. Didn't really get a lot done. It's gonna be tough, man. It's just a really tough matchup, I feel. We did almost win that game, though, so maybe I'm overthinking it. Alright, so let's go look at top 4. Yeah, Scrambled Egg did end up winning. We're barely squeaking into the top 4. Thankfully, we've got good Swiss tiebreakers. Safari Jack just outside of it. That's so painful. I'd be very sad. So we'll find out what our top 4 is looking like in just a second here. Opal just needs to advance the top 4 now. That's what I'm probably going to do. I should have brought them the first time I played against Via. Spawn are very vulnerable to the skirmisher fire, though, that Slaanesh has access to. They'll just get iced. You gotta be very careful with that. You gotta skirmish pretty hard against that. And Hellstriders aren't bad against them either. I mean, they can get some serious damage done to them. But having unbreakable units that you don't have to worry about routing off and everything is probably definitely necessary. And I've had some success on Khorne against Slaanesh with Spawn too. Now the big sad with Beastmen is that you don't have a way to just kill Azazel easily. Like, he can get down there and he can beat up on your he can beat the shit out of your characters real bad, you know, and he's really not that expensive either. So, you know, fighting him fisticuffs is maybe not going to be the easiest thing to do. I had Morgur last time. Morgur was just so slow. He didn't do anything. That's always the problem with bringing him. Like, in Conquest mode, I can see Morgur being really good, but in Dom, unless you're fighting over a central objective that he can sit on all game that's kind of small and forces stuff to engage him, I feel like he's kind of pointless, and that kind of ended up being my downfall. Maybe just more of the same, man. I've had a lot of success with Wargors in this matchup, too. I didn't have them last game. I mean, really and truly forcing Slaanesh to dive you can definitely give you a big edge against them, because they're good at diving. But if you just have enough stuff on the field and can just lock them in place and just drag them down, then I think you can end up being okay. Quadruple spawn, bro. I might unironically end up bringing it just to see how it does. I don't know what a Razorgore is going to do, so just another Zangor. Zangors are, like, decent against the Demon Infantry. They can do alright against Demonettes. But Via's just really freaking good on the micro. And just wore me out. And then I made a couple of, like, critical errors in getting on objectives. Kazrak against Slaanesh. Dude, if only. I love Kazrak. He's dog shit, though. He's just not good. Like, he's cheaper than Morgur, for sure. He's not a bad combatant, but I just wish he was better on the chariots. Like, like, the character chariots are really good for Beastmen, but I feel like they're just a little bit too expensive for what they accomplish. Because you can just bring a regular Razor Gore chariot and you get 4 models instead of just 1. And I know that they do have really good mass and, you know, HP pulls and crazy high weapon strength, but I don't know if that's enough. We can experiment a little bit, though. Now, the dream is you bring these guys on the Tuskgore chariots and you just run over Azazel for free. And just beat the living hell out of them. That's the dream. Not the easiest thing in the world to do, though. Do I need unholy power? Really? Just do this. I don't know, I feel like them being on the chariots and they get caught by a Hell Scourge, or a Hell Strider with the anti-large, even with the armor they get on the chariots, they probably just die because their melee defense is terrible. It's so bad. I don't think they'd fight very well under those conditions. And the Unholy Power and Bestial Surge. Bestial Surge, just to keep Vigor up for the infantry, is probably not a bad thing at all. You know, the Sentis have Rowdy, so they basically have perfect Vigor, as long as they're not horrendously beaten to shit. They just keep mobile, they can do some really good work. He does have anti-infantry aura, but the issue against Via wasn't infantry, it was it was just the absolute hellacious swarms of Hellstriders. I mean, I think he literally just maxed out on Hellstriders in his army. And he just beat the living hell out of my Centaurs. Because what happened is he traded pretty inefficiently the first time they came out. They really didn't do all that well. But they got a ton of kills on my infantry. So they got Soul Hunter charged up really high. And the second time they came out, they just flattened the Centaurs I had on the field. And my infantry couldn't do anything to them. So that's what I'm, like, trying to counterpick against Harrison. Like, I did a pretty good job of dealing with the spearmen and stuff that he had on the field. And Via didn't really have a lot of infantry at all. He had, like, a couple of Forsaken and the Devoted Marauders with the spears, and that was pretty much it. Everything else was just designed to kill my mobility, and he did a really great job of it. The Eye of More Sleep did pretty well. It eventually got dragged down. Its Warp Gaze was really critical in the opening of the game, though. The Vorbergland Broodmother would be fun, but I don't really know how effective it would ultimately be. Zinch is pretty high leadership, and the Aura of Madness isn't a very good Mortis engine anyways. Maybe a Gorgon would be decent. A Gorgon standing on top of the Great Bray Shaman, maybe? With Flock of Doom, like nothing else, might not be bad. It's got like an okay HP pull. He's dirt cheap too, like 800 gold. And you bring the Blood Brute maybe. Melkoth's caster. That's the other thought. But he was blobbing pretty hard because he's getting all those sandwiches, so Flock of Doom hitting multiple units at once, I think would do a little bit more damage. Melkoth's is very efficient against cavalry, though. So that is worth considering. Enfeebling foes, not super useful, I don't think. We'll find out who we're playing in the first place. We're playing Scrambled. Alright, Beastmen versus Coastman. How's that shaping up right now, anyways? Dude, I got one win over Vampire Coast this season so far. It's probably going to be kind of tough for me here, though, as well. And you do have decent archers that can gun down a lot of the shooting for the Vampire Coast, but they're pretty short range. Only 115 meters on them. So that might be a little difficult. Oh, but I forget. Top 4 is 3x3 matrix. Here we go. I'm going to swap you all over so you can see that, actually. Do I ban them off coast? I don't know. I think I'd be better off banning counts. I hate fighting vampire counts. I'd rather lose to anything else. Oh, damn. He did not do a ban. Randomized it. He brought Bretonia. He beat the crap out of me in the season finals on Bretonia. It was brutal. Absolutely vicious beatdown. Oh well, Beastmen mirror match. Do some Tomb Kings maybe. Okay. Cool. He's playing some pretty different stuff from what I'm used to seeing from Scrambled. So we'll see how that goes. I'll show y'all picks and bans as we do them. Okay, he's got it set up. And I think he's top of the bracket. Oh, I am. Okay, I get first ban. Cool. Just ban Corn Bretonia. He savaged me last time. I think I could figure that matchup out, but I'm not going to do it right now. I feel a little bit more confident on any of the other matchups. I mean, Bretonia just has really good healing, and then they've got Lewin, who just savages a lot of your units that you otherwise rely on in a lot of matchups. They're just really good at shutting down demons. Siege Beastman and Beastman. Fair enough. He doesn't want to do the mirror. What would he bring as Zinch? Really curious. Beastman Bretonia. Beastman and Bretonia is probably decently tough for Beastman. Let's actually ban out some Tomb Kings matchups. I actually don't like Tomb Kings into Beastmen. Beastmen just have so much mobility, it's hard to keep your missiles safe. If you go grind against them, you can definitely win it, but it's not nearly as easy as you would like to think it is. And Beastmen just have sick, nasty magic that they can smack you down with. We'll see what two matchups he takes off the table here. We might not get a very favorable matchup, potentially, depending on what he picks. But we do have final say on what we're going to be taking here. I would guess that he's going to ban out probably like Khorne Zinch. And maybe Tomb Kings Bretonia. And force me to pick either Khorne Beastman or Beastman Bretonia. Oh, okay. Actually swapping it up. Khorne versus Zinch. It's a pretty even matchup, honestly. It's not nearly as easy as I would like it to be. It's not terrible, though. So Khorne Zinch or Tomb Kings Bretonia? What is Bretonia going to bring against the Bone Boys? They've got some pretty good tools, man. I mean, like, Companions and Quenelle. Questing Knights are pretty ferocious. They've got really good stats and the armor piercing on them. They'll wreck Ushabti. Then they've also got really good flyers. You know, the Pegasus Knights are pretty nasty. They can get after your missiles pretty well. We'll just do Khorne versus Zinch. We'll just do a nice, do a nice proper chaos scrap here. I'll go down fighting on my faction of choice. I'm not ashamed or afraid. I'll make sure to take the blocker down for real this time, guys. Don't worry about it. I got y'all. I won't horrendously screw this one up. We're gonna do something different from what I normally bring. Whether it works or not, I have no idea. We might fall on our face in spectacular fashion here. Alright, we are on Edge of the Darkwood. It's not a bad map for Khorne by any means. I've had a lot of success on it. You can do some good side pushing with it. Your units are pretty fast and get up to the objectives fairly quickly. The biggest worry that I have is, I don't know, man. I think the Exalted Flamers. Last time I played Scrambled and he played Tzeentch, he brought the Exalted Flamers and just wrecked me. They did really well in melee combat too, which was a shock to me. I've never seen anybody send them into melee combat like that before, and they actually killed Valkia. And she was fighting him toe-to-toe and just didn't hit him. I don't know what was going on with it. Alright, we're still kind of waiting a word from him. Said Groovy Beans. Prepare for the burning chariots. I'm ready for it. I'm so ready for it. I'm not feeling supremely confident about my choices here, or what I brought, but, I mean, we're just going full experimentation. He could just completely bully me. But such is life. Scrambled Egg's really good. If I'm going to lose to somebody, I'd be honored to lose to him at least. There's a reason he's the #1 leaderboard player. Or wait, he's behind Boss Toss now. Boss has more tourney wins than Scrambled. So, the #2, regardless. I'm but a pleb down there at the in the lower tiers of the leaderboard currently. Still searching for my first win. I cannot tell you how many times I've gotten bounced in the semis and the grands. It's been very painful. So we got Scarbrand and we got a Soul Grinder. Whether these goobers are gonna do anything, we'll have to find out. I mean, like, the idea is to rampage stuff down, and then the Soul Grinder and Scarbrand are here to beat the shit out of them. I really wish Rage Embodied had an extra 5 seconds on it, because 15 seconds is a decent duration. It's about the same as, like, Pavane of Slanesh, but you also don't have the advantage of triggering it from 100 meters away, like Pavane. You have to literally be on top of something to begin with. I think that's a little bit restrictive for Korn. You know? Scarbrand's hyping himself up. He's flexing, he's showing the muscles, he's very angry and ready to go, man. Look at that. Fully committed to hyping himself. We'll see what we can do. He's got a really tiny army, so, no clue. Oh, yeah, that's right. Blocker. Okay, so here we go. I'll actually spare y'all from the pain and misery of having to stare at a black screen again. Trust me, it was a joke, guys. I was just teasing. I wasn't actually gonna forget again. Nobody was in my Discord spamming messages to remind me. I promise. What the hell happened? If I had $1 for every time OBS decided to crap out on me, I'd be rich. RIP. I have no idea. I must have hit something while I was like microing around and closed the stream or something. Either that or it just gave up on me. I got wrecked. I just didn't have answers. He just brought full mobility on me, and I don't have anything here to answer it. So, he got me good. RIP. Stream did die. I don't know what it did. But we'll go back and we'll watch the semis match. There's not much to see. It's mostly just me flailing hopelessly at Tzeentch mobility build and not being able to touch it. And just dying horribly. Scrambled played this really, really well. Alright. So I brought Scarbrand and I brought a Soul Grinder. Trying to get after Tzeentch's mobility. Or trying to, like, rampage it in where I could actually kill it. I've got the Chaos Warhounds hiding in the trees. They were going to get on this #1 objective, but, you know. Marauder Horsemen of Tzeentch are there.
keep it.
The Marauder Horsemen of Khorne, they're chilling here. They're a pretty decent answer to the like Knights of Immolation and stuff. They can throw axes at them at least. But they lose really hard to Tzeentch Horsemen. Tzeentch Horsemen just have the extra range, and Javelins have better missile speed. So they actually hit you, and they can just kind of kite away. Got a little bit of damage with the Soul Grinder, but it's on shields, so that doesn't really count for much of anything. You know, you can see it's counting that value, even though it doesn't actually matter for damage, which is pretty brutal. I mean, it can rack up real quick and make you think that you're ahead, and you're just, like, massively behind against Tzeentch. The other thing I'd been thinking about doing was just bringing Skarbrand, but bringing double Soul Grinder, or not Soul Grinder, Skull Cannon, and just foregoing infantry and just bringing tons of Flesh Hounds, which is probably what it should have ended up doing. Because as it stands right now, I'm going to get these Chaos Warriors. They get charged down. They're going to fight back, and I do get some good throwing axe fire, but the shields on these guys are only just now going down. And I've definitely taken the worst of it. It may say that I'm up, but I've lost a bunch of health on a warrior, and his Doom Knights haven't lost more than a couple models. And they're just going to fly up in the air and recharge their shields and get away with the worst of what's going on here. And I'm also, my own throwing axes are obliterating my Chaos Warriors by throwing at them. Tzeentch, they come in, they're going to charge these guys down, and they're just mopping them up right now. I do get Skarbrand in, and he's going to pop Relentless Rage right now, or Rage Embodied. He's going to lock them in combat and actually get some good damage in here on them. But they are fighting fully against him now, and they do have the magical attacks, so they're chipping away at his HP pretty quickly here. Should have charged with the throwing axes, I think. Probably would have spared him a little bit, and a fat volley goes in on my Soul Grinder. He's just getting absolutely wrecked right now. Changebringers are also making an appearance onto the field, and they get another really good volley in there on the Soul Grinder. And my infantry are just getting stuffed right now. I'm trying to push them up, but those Doom Knights are just landing right in front of them, keeping them from maneuvering around. I get a decent engagement here. The Horsemen, they do okay against Centaurs of Tzeentch, but a Glittering Robe comes down, giving these guys some serious armor and mitigating most of the damage from the throwing axes. So they're actually going to lose that combat, which is a really nice spell cast there. Really beautiful stuff. I get a decent engagement here, and I should have held on to Rage Embodied. If I'd been able to pop it when I got on top of all these units a minute ago, I would have been able to do a lot more damage than I'm doing right now. Because mostly his units just run away. I do get some pretty good damage on the Horseman Corps. But in exchange, my Horsemen are also taking a much, much heavier pounding in return. They get absolutely smacked up. The Horsemen over here, they get completely smacked down by the Centaurs here, who have 1,200 value already. Doom Knights, I don't really have a great answer to them. Bit of a blunder on my part while I'm trying to like micro all of these units down here. Blunder them into the Doom Knights a little bit. I do get underneath the Changebringers and rampage them down. So that's a good situation for me. I'm going to collapse with the Marauders and try and lock these guys in combat. But Skarbrand's not really having any of this. He's kind of refusing to attack and not getting a lot of damage. And those Javelins are just pounding him right now. He's got Plague of Rust on him. So he's got 20 armor, and that's just way too little armor to actually mitigate this missile fire. And he just gets nuked. You know, he's got nothing done, really. I've, like, done a decent job of killing some of the Doom Knights, but the problem is the, there's a decently healthy one up here, which is the ROR. So it's going to flatten all my Furies. My Furies here, they're, like, dying anyways and crumbling out. Changebringers finish them off. Hounds of the Blood Hunt are over-pursuing a little bit here, and they do get rear charged, which is pretty nice for the for Tzeentch here. They're going to get isolated. Centaurs are coming in. Skarbrand crumbling out and losing my leadership. All of my horsemen are about to, like, break off the field, basically. They're really not going to hold very well. Soul Grinder is getting some good shots in there. It's been doing much better than Scarbrand has. So, I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe a Soul Grinder backed up by Skull Cannons, Valkia up in the sky. You have to bring Valkia. Valkia can at least do damage to the Doom Knights. She can go after Changebringers. You need max Furies. You have to go full mobility against Tzeentch, or you're just going to get run over, because Scrambled Egg just has way too much for me to deal with. And my infantry just can't get into a fight anywhere on the field, so they're just completely lost in the sauce out there. It's pretty brutal for me. But it was really well played. He got some great casts off on some very critical spells. And I didn't have the proper answers on the ground. I thought that Rage Embodied might give me a little bit of a chance, but ended up not being very impactful. I'll go show y'all what I was thinking for a counter. Scarbrand is still trash, unfortunately. I would love for him to be good, but if your opponent knows what they're doing, he's just never going to get a good engagement, and he's going to get wrecked. You have to have a mobility advantage over the faction you're fighting in order to win. And I think Tzeentch actually has a better time against Khorne in the mobility game than the other way around. Something like this. Then you bring the Soul Grinder. Then you just bring some Hounds. Something like this. A Fury up in the sky. And you just try and, like, fully commit to taking apart the enemy's army from here. But you got, like, no infantry, because you can't afford much of anything at this point. I do think that the Soul Grinder is a nice addition, kind of necessary, too. I just don't know. Khorne's mobility just doesn't have the sauce there, I guess. But anyways, we're gonna back out of here. I'm gonna show off a couple more of the new player replays that we've got here. There's some pretty good battles in here. Isvar versus Random Cuban. We'll check it out, and maybe I'll play a couple of matches against anybody who's interested, just to close the stream out after this replay. So if anybody wants to play matches against me, let me know. Why the Soul Grinder? Soul Grinder has a shotgun cannon that does pretty good damage. It can kill models on a lot of skirmish units. And it's also just there as an additional answer to any elite stuff that Tzeentch might try to bring in. Because if Tzeentch goes with like a big chicken and backs it up with, you know, the same amount of mobility, it's going to be a little hard for Valkia alone to deal with, because she can't beat the big chickens by herself if your opponent's microing it well. That's why the Soul Grinder's there. Soul Grinder can just chip damage, and then you can land Valkia on the ground, and it can run over and help her out a little bit. That's the idea behind it. Random Cuban with a nice big ol' army for the forces of the Empire here. Tons of archers, like huntsmen, regular archers mixed in the front. Lots of swordsmen, Sigmar's sons in the front here as well. And nice little Melkoths in the early game from the Shadows caster. Definitely going to do some good damage to the Glade Riders here. You don't have the Hagmane tips. This other one does, though. So just getting a little poke on Boris Todbringer up in the sky, who's going to be very necessary if you're dealing with Durthu. Durthu is going to absolutely obliterate all of the melee infantry, and he'll be decently resilient against the Huntsman fire. He will take some punishment from them, but he does have the big pillar to stay behind. So he should be able to stay decently out of range of them for the most part. Just needs to be sure to stay back here. If he just anchors right here, Empire's going to have a hard time moving them off. And then Wood Elves can just play the side objectives with all the mobility they've got. They really don't have to engage in the middle there. But big losses on one of these Glade Riders. They're getting beat up by the Huntsman pretty badly. Archers are pushing up to try and get some damage on them as well. And the Wood Elves don't need to be skirmishing in the front line here because they are outranged by Huntsmen. They're getting screened by Swordsmen. And they're just not going to win this range trade here. You know, pulling back would be the best idea. And just going over here to get after the side objective. Because if your opponent just commits to a big, like, infantry push and is very slow getting up to the objectives, if you just jump onto their back point and take that first, while they're kind of occupied and distracted in the middle, you can definitely take full advantage of them here. We'll see what Durthu can do. He's only got Sword of Daith here, so I'm thinking that there's going to be a Life Caster in the back pocket to do healing magic for the Wood Elves, but nothing like that's come out yet. This far definitely has the supplies for it, and the Dryads kind of getting collapsed on by the Swordsman here. And this is a little bit too split for this army to be trying to accomplish here. The Deepwood Scouts could be up here, skirmishing better than the Glade Riders could. The Glade Riders could be over here getting rear charges and having broken the Spearmen a little bit quicker. And then they can just go right into the back line here against the Huntsmen and Hockland Long Rifles and stuff. And just leave the Wildwood Rangers to try and fight the Empire Knights and Knights of the Black Rose here. Because as it stands, there's nothing to, like, stop up these guys. If there's good micro from Random Cuban, you can just go around the sides here and get after the Deepwood Scouts, who could be sitting, like I said, safely back here. And they would actually be able to beat up on the archers. You can see all the Huntsmen are kind of shooting at Durthu, while he's distracting a lot of that attention. That's when you bring up the Deepwoods to just nuke each archer position one at a time. And then you can use the Life Caster to keep those units nice and healed up. But the Wildwood Rangers are doing some pretty good work against the Empire Knights here. Random Cuban kind of blunders these guys into a fight here on the number 1. And the Wildwood Rangers with their AP are just shredding through these horsemen, man. They have great stats, 40 and 36. More than enough to hammer home against the Empire Knights. Knights of the Black Rose grinding much better than those Knights were doing. But they're probably going to end up losing there if that situation continues the way it is. Durthu soaking up a lot of attention here. Boris Todbringer's all over him, trying to do damage to him. But he gets a nice regrowth here. Looks like Sword of Daith has gone down. Does some pretty nasty damage to the swordsman here. And the Eternal Guard, they're getting shot down by a lot of the archers, but they're holding in decently. And the Wild Hunters of Kurnus get into a really nice position. They're going to run over the Hockland Long Rifles here, man. Brutal stuff. The Empire Knights and the Knights of the Black Rose having to come back here and respond to this pressure is really nice for the Wood Elves. And they're doing well, but you can see that one Emperor Knight does break through and get on top of these Swift Shiver Shards, and that's going to be a big loss for the Wood Elves. And the Wild Hunters of Kurnus being the only mobility unit back here. Random Cuban with some really good micro notices that and focus fires the hell out of these guys and just obliterates these lightly armored Christmas Cav. Very painful stuff for him. Just massive loss for the Wood Elves there. That's probably one of the best units on the Wood Elf roster against Empire Knights. And these Empire Knights just being persistent and getting after the Swift Shiver Shards, just locking them in combat and giving the units here for the Empire time to just shoot down all of the cap weight for the Wood Elves is giving them the middle objective now. They have managed to swing this. They're probably going to be able to retake the number 1 here in a bit. As long as these Empire Knights just keep coming out and hammering home here. Even though they're not getting the best value, they have traded pretty evenly just because of the low armor on all these units. As long as they can get the charge off, they're going to do nicely. Pit of Shades coming down, wrecking the Dryads and the Eternal Guard there. The Treekin, they're persevering through some of the bow fire and old Durthu, man. Continuing to pound in against the infantry, but he hasn't really gotten a lot of value. I really do feel like Durthu with Flock of Doom and Sword of Daith is really nice. Because with Flock of Doom, he could have been casting it on the Huntsman this whole time. Because they are technically within casting range of Flock. It's 100 meters, which is pretty short, but he can use it to get through the Swordsman. You can still bring the Regrowth caster if you want. You know, just like 1 or 2 good regrowths on Durthu is going to keep him alive through most of the missile fire here. Because he does have some passive resistance. He's got Fizz Res. And he's just got an obscene amount of HP in the armor there, as you can see. So, Wood Elves are starting to fall behind pretty badly. Swordsmen push up. They're on top of the Wildwood Rangers here doing some good work. Archers with very cost-effective fire. I mean, this is a 350 gold unit, I think. And they've gotten their value back. They're helping the Empire Knights, or Knights of the Black Rose, actually, who do rally. And they do break the Swift Shiver Shards here, fully taking these guys offline. And shutting down any further missile play from the Wood Elves. They do have some Glade Riders who are back out on the field, and they're going to be looking to get some work done. There's one that's fresh. The Hagbane tip did die to the Archer and Huntsman fire. This other Glade Rider is the one from earlier in the game, and Eternal Guard chasing the Spearmen off. They need to get up and just hold this objective, and then the Wood Elves maybe can get back into the game by just ping-ponging all of the archers and stuff off the field. You can see some unsummons coming down there. Good work from Random Cuban, getting a little bit of money back and also getting some stuff in the pool for reinforcements. And Empire Knights, man, they're going to be looking for some opportunities. They're definitely going to find some good chances to get some damage in here. The Wood Elves are pretty haggard on the field right now. They don't really have a lot that can be compromised by the Empire Knights, but if Glade Riders or even the Wild Hunters of Kurnus come out, you can easily afford to like sack these guys directly into the more expensive unit or the less heavily armored mobility. Fighting here with Boris against Durthu is not a very cost-efficient trade. Boris does not have the stats to get through Durthu at all. He needs to be cycle charging him in order to do work against this guy. But he does hold him up long enough for the halberds to get into range. And they're going to do some pretty good work against him. No Sword of Daith to punish these guys is nice. He does get a good regrowth, and he's healing through most of the damage, as you can see. Huntsman trying to pick him apart, but just not very effective fire there. And there go the Wild Hunters of Kurnus, charging into the Knights of the Black Rose, who are going to keep these guys locked in combat for a bit. Archers and the Huntsmen turning attention now. Very good micro from Random Cuban, yet again getting on top of these lightly armored cavalry, picking them down. Now that they're out of melee combat, though, their shields will mitigate some of that fire. But they do have the Royal Altar of Griffites to worry about as well. Empire Knights getting on to the number 3, and Isfar is just completely gassed at this point. Durthu not giving any kind of battlefield control, not doing poorly, though. You can see how resilient he is. I really do think Durthu is pretty good in this matchup. He's pretty vulnerable to some of the other units, like Silver Bullets and the like, but if you just bring Durthu as cheap as you can, and support him with Dryads and a lot of like Glade Riders and mobility, I think can actually get after the Archer Corps. I think you can actually make him work here. He's not going to die to Franz or to Boris. He's going to do a pretty good job with Flock of Doom of just tearing down the HP on the really cheap infantry that you've got to deal with. Because Empire can definitely win matches by stuffing you off objectives just with Empire State troop spam. And Durthu, with the Sword of Daith and Flock of Doom, has some pretty cost-efficient opportunities to get some good damage against them. 284 kills on him. He's just requiring the Empire to keep feeding stuff in here. And they're doing a good job of mopping up the rest of the mobility that the Wood Elves have. Great Stag Knights just get dragged down back here. Spearmen just ripping into them, you know. I mean, they've only got 60 armor. They've got pretty poor melee defense. These guys are much better against the heavy cav that the Empire has. They're pretty good against Royal Altdorf Griffites, if you can get a good charge off. And they do get one there, but they're just so tattered at this point, they're not able to get the full weight of their attacks in. They had way less models at that stage. Still got a little bit of poke in. With a full health unit of them, you can probably trade pretty favorably into these guys. They're so expensive. Royal Altdorf Griffites cost, what, 1,900, 1,850 gold or something like that? And the Stag Knights are much cheaper. They're 1,400, I think. We could take a look. Yeah, Stag Knights are 1,450. And you're sending them in a pretty decent engagement. They've got a better charge bonus. So they'll actually do really good work against the Royal Altdorf Griffites, who are 1,850. It's not much better in terms of charge bonus, but just sheer weight of attacks and being cheaper. And if you pop a good regrowth on them when they go in to engage, they're going to persevere through the worst of it and probably come out ahead for you. You can also bring the Lost Sylvan Knights, and they really do put the beat down on the Royal Altdorf guys. They also have Frostbite, so, you know, they can't really run away from you. And they still have a shield. Despite not having any armor, they've also got the Fizz Res. And with the shield, that also mitigates a decent amount of the missile fire, so there's some cheeky stuff that you can do against the Empire if you don't want to just go, like, super wide against them. Which is probably the best way to go about it, like, just Drycha with Melkoths and, you know, all the usual business. Just bring, like, mass Glade Guard. Glade Guard are going to absolutely mollywop the Empire missile line if you're seeing something like the Huntsmen and Archers. Huntsmen don't outrange Glade Guard. Their missile strength, I think, is equivalent. No, actually, the Glade Guard have better missile strength, too. It's pretty brutal. What's the time to fire? 11 seconds versus 11 seconds. So, Glade Guard would probably win that trade. They're much cheaper as well. So, either go really wide or commit to, like, some kind of a rush with Durthu. Where you just go, like, you know, you don't need Wissen's Wild Form. Just bring Flock of Doom. You don't need to bring any of the other abilities. You can go, like, a super cheap Spell Singer with just the regrowth. None of the abilities on her either for 500 gold. And you can bring her out if he gets low and pop it on him and keep him nice and healthy. While he just gets to cast Flock of Doom all game, which is super cheap. Isn't going to really make it hard to be able to cast one or two of these over the course of the game. You'd have a really, really nice situation there for yourself. Tom and I are going to play a couple of matches here. Boop. There we go. Alright. Who are we going to play? I don't really want to play any Khorne right now. I've been playing a lot of Beastmen already. Let's do something a little different. Let's do some vampire counts. I've been playing around with them a little bit. I'm curious to see how they perform. And we'll see who Tom is going to be picking. I don't really love a lot of the banners that the undead have access to. They're kind of hideous, IMO. Like, Caravan of the Blue Roses is probably my favorite banner for the faction as a whole. We could do the Red Duke. Red Duke is really nice. He's pretty cheap, and he's got some pretty good combat abilities in El Sif. He's really good for controlling the battlefield. Ooh, against Nurgle? Vampire Counts, I think, have a pretty favorable matchup against Nurgle. We're going to play around a little bit. We're not going to do anything, like, too supremely meta. Do some corpse carts together. I don't think I need those guys in Vanguard or anything. I think a halberd and great weapons. Nah, the throwing axes will wreck those guys. So maybe some Stearnsmen. And just bring tons of zombies, you know, just to force Nurgle to have to grind through all that, and some spears to back it up. I actually really kind of want a lanced Black Knight. They've got really good charge bonus, and I've seen them do some pretty nasty work against the demonic units, just by that fact alone. Konigstein Stalkers, I'm going to bring... These guys are low-key kind of good for a crappy skeleton unit. I've got better stats. They've got really high armor for a skelly. And they've got poison on the melee attack, so they can actually be a sneaky little unit to use to hold a back objective. And your opponent thinks they're wandering over to just like run over a skeleton warrior, and then they get locked in combat. And then you bring out like Direpack and Wolves, Bats, Vargeist, all kinds of nastiness to like hammer them down. And you can really put people on the back foot that way. Karen Wraiths are just going to get killed here, probably. Try out some Crypt Ghouls. Maybe more mobility. I think a Crypt Horror. And what else do we want? White Kings are amazing for the vampire counts, but we're going to see how they can do without them. You know, they're kind of a crutch, I've noticed, for a lot of people. Just because of the Scab Scraith. And the Scab Scraith is awesome. Does a lot of really good work, but I'd like to see what we can do without it. We'll go pick, what's going to be a good map for both factions? I don't want to pick something that, counts are just going to win for free on. I actually think Glade of the Everqueen is a good choice. Cut a zombie. Gazing Gash is really powerful. It's going to be especially good against any big units. It's going to help wear those guys down over time. Give me an opportunity potentially to jump on them and grind them out. But if there's something big like Kugath on the field, we're going to try and avoid them as best as possible. We've got lots of mobility. So we'll probably go around the battlefield and just clean up the rest of the army. Counts is what I used to play in Warhammer 2 for the brief period that I played multiplayer there. It was pretty much exclusively Counts. I love them. They're very fun. I hate going up against them. They're so obnoxious with the all the healing and stuff that they've got. They'll just drag you down to hell. We'll dance around the maypole here. There's like there's a big old like I don't know what it is, like a water tower, I guess, in the town that I live in that looks like a giant penis like sticking up out of the ground. You know? So that's pretty much what everybody in town universally agrees that it is. It's just called the phallus. It's like your waypoint for the entire town too. It's like right in the middle. It's very funny. That's what these things kind of remind me of. But these are a little sharper, you know, a little less rounded. You know, I don't really have a good head on them, really. You know, they're a little lackluster, is what I'm trying to say. They could be better. We'll use the skeletons to push the point. And they'll go with the sternsmen and the halberds. I'm just gonna use the zombies on the back objective. Just gonna send like a horde of them up to the number 1 as slowly as possible. And we'll use our knights here to get up onto the point quicker. Get this out of here too. Tom says he's apologizing in advance for not being super experienced with Nurgle. No apologies necessary. This is how you learn the game at the end of the day. It's just like gaming and playing matches against people and finding out what does and doesn't work. Oh, we got a Nurgling swarm. We've got Marauders, Chaos Warriors, and yeah, the Chaos Sorcerer on the Rot Beast is going to be kind of hard to kill. It's pretty durable as a unit. What's going on here? Oh, there we go. Okay. Now I got him selected. We're going to cap the point. We're going to move up. We'll use the Black Coach to get in there in a minute. He does have triple throwing axe, which is kind of what I was expecting to see. It's not tremendously surprising. And what do I need? I think I might bring the Mortis engine coming out second. Not bringing it out in this first wave is going to be the best thing to do. You gotta get away from here before we take a bunch of damage. You gotta be careful with your Lord. Alright. We're gonna get boxed out here a little bit. We don't want to just take free damage on any of these units right now. So we're just gonna pull back. We'll let the zombies buffer. I could use a Gaze into Gash on these guys, because it does nasty work to skirmishers. I don't super think I need to. I'm gonna bring out the Blood Knights first. Because Blood Knights are going to answer Plague Toads and all the other nasty stuff. Against a lot of this, I'm not super worried. I should be able to get up on the points and start taking position pretty nicely. And I do have one unit that's really good against infantry already in the Black Coach. Should be able to do some pretty good damage. These guys need to get up in front of the objective to roadblock effectively. You don't want to try and hold on the objective with zombies and stuff. You'd much rather get a better position with them, so that your opponent has to like maneuver around them. And if Tom wants to go around these guys with his cav, then I can start summoning out the Dire Pack. Varric's Reavers aren't a bad tool either. Pretty good jump there. And here come the Plague Toads, so we'll get these guys forward. We're just going to be annoying here. The Black Knights can hammer through the front line, actually. They'll do some pretty good work against these Nurglings. We don't want to take that fight right now. We're going to maneuver out here. We're going to push up the Halberds here, and we'll send the Sternsmen into combat and pull back our infantry that aren't really all that good at fighting some of these targets. We'll get in there. I think we'll actually hammer home. And the halberds and the spears are going to go up here. Really nice stream of corruption coming down. I think we bring this out now. Because by the time it gets up here, he's already used quite a few volleys. We'll just pull back, so we don't take a ton of damage on the Blood Knights. They've done a little bit of poke here. We're going to actually use Gaze into Gash here, just to do damage to this guy. Because we are going to want to wear him down over the course of the game. We do have a bad situation developing back here. This is where the Mortis engine's going to go. Buffer out. Get back in here. We need to kill the Plague Toads, but we should be able to. We've got some spears here. They're not doing terrible. We did crush these Nurglings pretty badly. We'll run over the Marauders, and we're going to go over here. We'll drop a heal on these zombies just to keep them in combat as long as possible. Until the Mortis engine gets up over here. We need to try and preserve as much HP on those guys as possible. And now we can engage with this stuff. We'll get the black coach out of here. Oh, that's the corpse card. It's kind of trapped up here. It's not really getting through. Get it over here, and then we'll go on to these Chaos Warriors. And we'll pull out here. And this is where we can land now. We'll actually do some pretty good damage to this guy here. And Red Duke is a really good combatant on the Hellsteed. He's going to take damage, but it's not going to be terrible for me, and we'll get Stuff the Hammer here. We're holding alright. We've got lots of mass. We've got lots of units that are just like grinding down toads and stuff. We'll pull the Blood Knights out, because they don't want to just grind endlessly there. I mean, I don't know why we left combat, but it is what it is. We're getting some great work done against these Chaos Warriors over here. They're going to suffer really badly against all this stuff. Knights can pull out. We're going to get the Vargeist in and hammer home from behind. Zombies are doing good. Oh, and the Rotting Riders are here now. Holy crap, okay. So, we're going to try and get a better combat against them. What we currently are doing is going alright for us. We just need to keep fighting here with all of the corpse carts and stuff. The Graveguard Halberds, they're doing okay. Keep maneuvering around here, and we got a good break on these Chaos Warriors. Very effective damage for us. We'll take the fight. And he's going to run away now. Okay. Fair enough. Maybe we can force the engagement here. Let's get the Blood Knights through. We're going to pop a heal on the Vargeist so they don't just get munched on. Furies are pretty good against those guys. I can do some pretty serious work. We'll get back there. We've buffered him out pretty good. The Furies have run away and are landing somewhere else. Just keep buffering. Run. Run, 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 run. More Vargeists are probably the answer. Against the Rotting Riders, they'll do good shock damage. And they'll really hammer these guys down. Oh, but he got a really nice Curse of the Slug off. That's going to be very painful for me.
The dead are mine.
We'll keep fighting with the Black Coach there. We'll send the Mortis Engine here. Poor Blood Knights, man. They're going to get absolutely smacked down here. But we did get a good rear charge on the Rotting Riders. Maybe we can start grinding through these guys. Gotta pull these up back into the sky. Look at the damage they're doing. Oh my god, that's vicious stuff. Another heal. We'll pull these guys over. We're just gonna slowly drag them down. We can get the Varix Reavers. Because they've also got regen. They can hold decently against these guys. Get in there. Hammer here. We'll send our Lord in also. And we'll get out some Dire Pack and see what they can do next. We're winning, barely there. We just have to keep punishing these Rotting Riders. We are very committed right now to killing these guys. This is the critical fight. Really good rear charge on my Graveguard there. They're taking a bunch of damage. They're going to get worn out. And Sternsmen are just hanging in. They're doing what they do best. And I think we might actually break the Rotting Riders here, which is probably going to be game for him. Because without these guys to hammer all of my mobility, I don't know what Nurgle is going to ultimately end up being able to do. And yeah, we do get a break on them, and that's beautiful. That's perfect. That's exactly what I needed there. We need to make sure that our Lord doesn't die, but he is very healthy, and he's not suffering too horribly. We'll pop a big heal here, and we'll charge in there. He got a good jump on my Hounds. I thought the Halberds were going to hold a little longer. Corpse Cart is terrorizing everything over here. And we've got the Black Coach, which has been doing pretty good work against the infantry, too. Rotting Riders are rallied, but we should just be able to get right back after them. He's lost most of his infantry on the field. And just going in and charging these guys down is probably going to be the best way to deal with them. Pestigors are going to get massacred by the riders here. You can see the damage that the Red Duke is doing as well. It's really not been bad at all. Let's get up and over and then behind. Let's drop another big heal here. More Crypt Ghouls to get in there. Dire Pack are gonna not attack Pestigors. I don't know why I thought that was something else. They're gonna get a side charge though and do nicely. All these guys are gonna collapse in here. We're just holding and fighting and doing what we can. Did we kill the Rotting Riders again? We did. We've got 11 models though. We've got to actually finish these guys. If we can finish the Rotting Riders, then we've got a dub here. And Varix Reavers, they're taking a pounding. They're kind of hanging on, though. And we'll take the back point now. Send both of... We'll send the Mortis Engine and the Black Coach here. Just because they're the two closest units. Fight. More big heals. I was taking my back objective here. I didn't even notice. Nicely done. I think we save up for Blood Knights again. Blood Knights didn't do too hot the first time around, but I think they'll be able to hammer home and help finish a lot of these units. Man, the, whatchamacallits, these, Furies are doing great right now. We're actually in a little danger. We do have the Mortis Engines and the Corpse Carts. That are, like, reasonably healthy, but one of these is actually getting worked on. Wowie. Okay. Let's get out of here. Blood Knights are going to come in and be my anchor here in the late game. Black Coach is going to go take care of that. We're going to recap here. And what do we push up to hold? Just Konigstein Stalkers, yeah. We've got good cap weight here now. The Crypt Ghouls and stuff, they're going to do pretty good. And that Unholy Lodestone Corpse Cart's still getting the crap kicked out of it by Pestigors, I guess. Very unfortunate. If we can get the Lord here, we might be okay. We gotta be careful, though. We can't just jump brainlessly down in there. It's a really close game. It's really well played by Tom.
One of your units has been destroyed.
But we should be okay with the Blood Knights out. Once these guys get into a good fight, there's nothing super scary here. We've broken the infantry on the number 3. Need to get away here. We'll send the Blood Knights over there as well. And I think we do want to send the Dire Pack up again. They didn't do too hot, but should be alright. It's doing a really good job of intercepting here. If we get the side charge, I think we got it. And this is where we can dive down on top of the Lord now. He can surround here all he wants. We're gonna hold here. We just want to kill units here. Yeah, and that should be game for his Lord there. Finally managed to drag him down. Blood Knights just need to fight, do what they can, and look at the Black Coach. Doing work, dude. Really nice. I don't have any more heals. It's very unfortunate. And the Sternsmen, they did good. They got 1600 value. Just gonna hold all this stuff. He's going to have leadership problems. He's got a lot of really squishy leadership here. And that should just get worn down. Blood Knights are going to be able to hold in here and kill pretty much everything. Nice. Vampire Count's dub. Let's go. How'd the halberds do? They were a little out of place. They did soak up a lot of throwing axe fire, though. So, I guess I should be thankful for that. The Rotting Riders did really nicely. 2,500 value on them. They weren't bad by any means. I feel like they're so expensive, and you're giving up so much battlefield control while you're trying to build them up and get them out on the field that I don't really know what you do for them. It's tricky. Black Knights did nicely. Red Duke did good as always. Varix Reavers, they got a little lost, and the Blood Knights did better the second time around, but they got wrecked that first go. Absolutely brutalized. They just got hit by the... they got caught with that really good Curse of the Slug and just got dragged into the abyss, basically. Alright. What else do we want to play? Let's do some Kislev. I like Kislev. It's been a minute since I played him also. Solyax. I really do honestly like bringing Tor's Battle Hymn. It doesn't have a limit on the number of times it can be cast. It does really good work, too. Castalton's a great Lord option. Because then you can just go with a really cheap Frost Maiden on a Warhorse. You don't really need to bring any of these things. Gastova's Egg, now that it gives Invulnerable, might be good if she gets horrendously compromised. But I don't think it's the most necessary thing in the world. And we're going to bring... just these. I think this is all you need, really. Frost Shield is going to give a little bit of armor and missile block chance, which is not the best passive, but is something. Just for the memes, I'm going to try this out. I just want to see if it can do anything. We're going up against Nurgle, so... I think Kossars are a pretty good start. These guys have Rabble Rouse, which is useful. Ice Guard with the swords. We'll bring a Boydanov's Brawler. Nah, we'll bring them in the backup here. What's going to cap the objectives? I think Horse Archers. Horse Archers are really nice. I don't know about the Watchmen of the Night. They're a little bit out of my price range. I'd like to bring a little bit more. Snow Leopards are cute. They might not be bad against some of the targets. Bring a Frostworm. I think maybe actually a Griffin Legion, just to hammer home against stuff. That's good enough for start. And go after Plague Toads. Do a little bit of additional damage to them. Although I don't actually think I need it. Winged Lancers should be able to get that done. Probably only need 2 of those guys because I have the Griffin Legion up top here. Akshinos, Ambushers, no. I think some Streltsy. I do have Boydanovs. I don't know if I need any more of that. Maybe some more Horse Archers and then a Zarguard. And then just some Kislevite Warriors to round it all out. We need our shooting to do some serious work here, but I think we can actually manage that. Horse Archers are going to be really nice for poking out some of the Marauder Horsemen if they come in. We've got Castalton to buff up the Kossar line and heal some of our other units. Frostworm. Especially Frostworm and Castalton, if there's a really big Lord on the field, is going to be necessary. Oh, never mind. We've got Skaven. And yeah, we'll do a different map. I would do Lustrian Narrows, but it's apparently bugged right now. Ooh, Scalandir's Cave. Okay, against Skaven, we'll go back to the drawing board then. Kislevi Warriors are too vulnerable. They'll get killed by slingers. Guardian Call is cheeky, but I don't think I really want to use that. I don't know how useful that's going to be, and this is actually a pretty good spell. And then we've already got something on a big scary beat piece, you know, that can do some pretty good work for me. We'll bring Stalyaks and get him on a Warhorse. Just a supporter. Do you think a couple of armored Kossars are really good? Armor checking Skaven can work out in your favor pretty often. We'll get one guy, a couple of great weapons for engaging Stormverm and Halberds if they're available. Dervishes are going to be really good. Yeah, that works. We're going to have to be really good with our focus fire here. It's going to be very important. Another Winged Lancer. Do we need Warbear Riders? Probably not. A couple of Snow Leopards to go hunt stuff is a good idea. I really love the Boydnov's Brawlers, man. They're so fun. They can do so much work for you. We'll bring another Patriarch with heals. Just in case for Zarina. She can get beat down pretty bad if you're not careful with her. Watchers in the Night. Another Kossar. Maybe the Mordheim Beowulfs. What do they do here? Are they really going to be any good? I don't think so. Huh. Maybe a couple of Kislevite Warriors. I don't know. Let's do the Griffin Legion, just for fun. Alright, let's see what we can do, man. This build is going to be pretty good against a lot of Skaven builds, but might be pretty terrible, depending on what Tom brings. Alright, Golfin Hoof, man. Are you memeing around? I'll play more counts. I want to play more stuff. I mean, I'm kind of waiting for the Corn DLC. It's going to be a little bit before it comes. And then we'll jump in. I'll play more Corn, obviously. That's always going to be my main faction. But into the future, I probably will branch out more. What happened here? Crashed? We'll get Tom back in here. He crashed, unfortunately. Such is the way of CA. They're always poking and prodding. Just another armored Kossar with the gray weapons. I really love... These guys are really great. They just do so much. Their pistols are awesome. They have shields, so they're pretty safe from a lot of missile fire. Courage of Sacrifice. Urson's Roar is kind of useless. We'll just give Courage of Sacrifice to this guy, I guess. Or just save it. Triple Chevron on a Kossar. We'll see if that actually makes a difference for him. Snow Leopards are going to go beat up on stuff, and they also have Frostbite, so they can slow down things I want to catch. And then the Kossovite Dervishes, Winged Lancers, and Griffin Legion can go hammer into them. The one thing I'm kind of weak against is going to be the Doom Flayers. But I do have Boydnov's Brawlers who can shoot at them, and I can drag them down with Zarina, and I guess the Snow Leopards are also there. They're pretty good against them, too. So I think I actually have all my bases covered now. Alright. Now we're going to get it going. The Scolandier's Cave is a massive map. It is buffoonishly large. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's the biggest one in the Total Tavern map pool, honestly. So, our build's not, like, perfect for this map, but it should be fine. I do kind of want to anchor a couple of objectives. And if we really want to, we can cheekily play the side points. We'll send these guys to secure this point. Just to start. I'm gonna keep these guys a little bit offset like this. These guys are gonna be behind them. These guys are gonna hold the flanks. With their spears, they'll be pretty safe against rat ogres. If they do get charged by the wolf rats, I can just turn and countershoot those little things, and I'll send Zarina Katerin to like clean stuff up. My missile core should be solid enough to be able to deal with most of the Skaven threats I'm worried about running into. And if he's got Death Globe, or the Avalanche Mortars and stuff like that, that's going to be pretty punishing for me. But then I can just start summoning out Snow Leopards and some other mobility stuff that can go after him. Patriarchs can chase weapon teams. You just want to get after weapon teams. Once weapon teams are maneuvering around and running and can't really like sit and shoot for free, that's when you start getting into a really nice position against the Skaven. If you can just break the back of their formation, you've got them. It can be a little easier said than done, though. And we do have the... Oh, we've got Warp Lightning Cannons, actually. And we do have the Avalanche Mortars. Those are going to be really punishing. They're going to do a lot of damage to me if I'm not careful. Oh, and we need to get the Winged Lancer up here. Okay. Well, we're just going to stay out of range of the cannon with Zarina. And Tom is maneuvering to take the #1 here. I honestly think we get both Snow Leopards out here. Snow Leopards are very maneuverable. They should be able to squeeze through cracks in the formation. Let's get up on this hill. We'll hold here. I'm gonna hold back here. Owie. Cannon. Doing a little bit of poke against me. It's pretty bad. I don't love just getting hammered for free, but I'm not gonna panic and overextend. We're gonna get our Snow Leopards out and ready to party. And we can actually move up to the number 2 with our Lord. She is actually able to right now. Do we cap this point? You can see how big... I mean, look at the size of this freaking map. It is so crazy. Ow.
We have a victory point. Keep it from the foe.
Big hurt coming in. Start getting forward. Look at our Patriarch out. Patriarch's going to get some good heals off. And yeah, we do have the Rat Ogres showing up. We've got the Avalanche Mortars going to be shooting at our guys here. Start shooting at all these Skaven slaves and stuff. And yeah, Zarina's getting targeted. I don't know why this guy decided to run right into the middle of them, but did blob it up pretty nicely. Oh, and we've got assassins and stuff coming out here. That's cool. That's cool. Okay. Okay. Get some dervishes, and we actually kind of broke the middle formation here. Let's run away. Let's find a way in. If we can just shut these guys down, that's going to be great for us. We got wolf rats and rat ogres coming. They catch this. They did catch the little leopard. Snow leopard is going to get absolutely brutalized here. We need to be careful because Deathmaster Snickage is on the field. Oh, and we got blobbed up here on the Council Guard. That's bad. I'm fumbling the bag a little bit here. We'll get the Winged Lancers through to do some damage and see what we can do from there. We are in danger right now. They have some incredible units out on the field for countering what I've got. Not quite able to get on top of the Avalanche Mortars either, and I'm just getting shot to death right now. Not doing a very good job of focus firing, and what stuff I do have that's able to is getting worked on really badly right now. Let's get on him. It's actually pretty nice for me. That's not the target I wanted, but that's okay. We got on the Avalanche Mortars finally, and we're doing some good damage to them. At the very least, shutting down their shooting is going to be pretty good for me. I'm going to get in here. Just keep fighting. Save up a little. I got the Snow Leopards killed, which is unfortunate. It's not great. Just keep dodging through. Just please desperately get up on these guys. That's what I really need right now. I need my infantry line to like be able to hold semi-decently into the late game here. Get another Patriarch out. Move up. And Boydnov's Brawlers are taking their sweet time getting up here. Got caught. Getting some good damage here, though. Just need to get away. Come on, get away. Please don't die to these guys. If she can just survive, and then we get the Patriarchs up to heal her, we might be alright. I'm getting obliterated right now. Oh my god. I'm diving too hard for this stuff, and I can't get on it. And the Avalanche Mortars have just farmed a bazillion value off of me. Zarina Katerin can't do it. The Patriarch got caught by Rat Ogres and is dying horribly now. So I think this is probably game. Oh my god.
You have been bested.
Yikes.
There is only defeat.
That's brutal, man. I don't know what you do to get back there and get on these guys. They were just obliterating all of my infantry. I couldn't push up and get on them enough. I think I just played myself by getting on all three objectives. I think that was the very wrong way to go about this matchup. The Winged Lancers got okay value. Everything else just was garbage. Did nothing. Didn't accomplish anything. and just got tossed by really well played Skaven. Oh, and there were Natty Boobos out there too somewhere, being sneaky, avoiding me. Ow. Alright, we'll do one more against Tom. Kislev into Skaven seems like it might be kind of tough. Skaven are good against just about every faction that's got missiles. Maybe you just need to go more aggressive here. And just bring, like, hordes and hordes of stuff that's just going to engage them in melee and win that way. I really don't think that, what I've got here is, or what I had in my last build was going to be the winning play at all. We'll do some Chaos Warriors. Warriors of Chaos. We'll see if we can do a little bit better this time. Skirmish Cav aren't bad against them, but they're not great either. Oh. I think he's done for the night. Rip. Well, I think we'll call it there. We had a good 2 games to close it out. Alright. Well, we'll call it here then. I'll catch you guys another time. I'll be streaming again later this week. So, y'all take care. GG's.